Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside Labatt Memorial Park. It is game day. We haven't been able to say that for a while. The Toronto Maple Leafs are in town, and Intercounty Baseball League is back here in the Forest City. I'm Noah Smith. With me again, Dylan Baker. Jackson Farrow is going to be joining us throughout this season. Right now, he's doing all the production work for us. Dylan, it's been 696 days since the Majors last played a game that really counted for real. Of course, the Legacy Classic happened last year, but this is the first time we've seen fans in the seats and a game that matters in quite a long time.
It absolutely is, Noah. It's been a very long time since Majors fans have been able to fill up this ballpark to watch meaningful Majors action again. Like you mentioned, we had the Legacy Classic last season, but of course that was an exhibition game, and this game counts for regular season stats in the IBL. Teams begin jockeying for positioning as of tonight. It's the first game of the regular season. A couple of rainouts so far this IBL season in Hamilton or in Toronto on Wednesday night, and then in Welland and in Hamilton, or in Barrie on Thursday night. So rainouts have played a factor in this season so far. This is the first game that we'll be getting underway in the 2021 Intercounty Baseball League season, and we're excited to bring it to you.
A couple other games going on tonight. You mentioned this is the first one. Majors weren't scheduled to be the first game in the Intercounty League season. Actually, the team they're playing tonight, Toronto, this is supposed to be their third game of the year. It's only their first. Mother Nature not playing friends with anyone so far in the Intercounty Baseball League. If you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, that might be something that is good for you coming into this Friday night game against the London Majors team that we're going to see on both sides of the lineups here. Lots of offense for these teams, Dylan.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton of offense on both sides. A lot of the arms that most teams get come from import players, and they're not going to have that this year, so we'll see how the pitching factors in. You get a look at the Toronto lineup on your screen there. Grant Tamain leads off. He's the second baseman. Jordan Castaldo bats second. He was the Triple Crown winner a few years ago in 2019. Sean Riley, league leader all-time in home runs. Garrett Takamatsu, he just won an MIAA Player of the Year award. Jonathan Salazzo, who hits bombs. Connor Lewis, Jeff McLeod, Brian Sewell, and R.J. Johnston Jr. round out that Toronto lineup. This team can hit, but luckily for the Majors, both sides can do that, and we'll see who pitches better. That's going to factor into not only who wins tonight, but who wins the entire season.
That Toronto lineup is dangerous in any ballpark in this league, Dylan, but you put them in the tight confines of the Christie Pitts Park in Toronto, they're going to hit a lot of home runs. You can imagine that. They're going to put up a lot of offensive numbers. But one question mark that we've seen so far for this Toronto team might be their pitching. They have some good quality young arms, but is it going to hold up? And is it going to be able to win them ball games?
Yeah, that's the big question, not only for Toronto, but for a lot of teams around the league. Toronto's got arms that we know can pitch in this league. The question is going to be the quality. It's such a guessing game with no import players this season coming to the IBL. So this will be dependent and reliant on local arms. Whoever has the best local arms is going to have success this season. And for Toronto, they better hope that they've got some good ones. They've got Mateos Kikatos, who is going to be an MLB draft prospect this weekend. There were thoughts that he might get picked last year. They've got a very good team, and we'll see if they can pitch tonight.
Well, we'll talk about the starting pitchers in today's game later on. Two guys that have been with their respective teams before. They're not new arms, and they're the guys you want on the bump on opening day. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Let's look at the London Majors lineup because you talked about offense. The Majors, they might just rival Toronto's offense, although it's going to come in forms of guys that haven't been in this league before.
Yeah, we've got a lot of different faces in the Majors lineup. Some guys that you may have recognized when you see their names. Keith Candell leads off at shortstop. Always a good leadoff man. He's back after taking a year off in 2019. Carlos Artiega bats second at second base. He had a career year in 2019, and he'll be looking to double that, or replicate that, I should say, this season. Julian Johnson bats third at third base. Now, this is an interesting one because Johnson is a natural first baseman. But as you'll see in the spots following, Cleveland Brownlee is in this lineup as well, and batting seventh is Josh Williams. So there are guys that play first base that can hit, and they want to get all three bats in the lineup. Brownlee's going to DH at this stage in his career. Williams is going to play first, and that means Johnson, who's a righty, Williams is a lefty, shifts over to third base. We might see Julian play some outfield this season as well. It'll be interesting to see how Roop Chandra utilizes him. Cleveland, of course, batting cleanup at DH. Byron Reichstein batting fifth in right field. Hayden Jaco, the catcher, he's a new face. You may have read an article in the London Free Press about him. He's going to catch. He's going to pitch this season. Josh Williams bats seventh at first. Humberto Ruiz in left field. He's a previous major, hasn't been with the team since 2017, I believe. And then Chris McQueen is back after taking a year off in 2019. He'll be in center field tonight.
Dylan, this lineup, when you first take a look at it, a lot of familiar faces. I know there's going to be a lot of question marks surrounding Cleveland Brownlee. Can he still play? Is the bat still there? I want to remind players that of his 4 seasons where he's hit double-digit home runs, 2 of them have come in the last 2 seasons, Dylan. He's swinging the bat well. Last year, his average, I should say 2019, his average was a bit down. But the year before that, he hit .324. He had a fantastic season. I still think the bat's there for Cleveland Brownlee. We'll see how it goes this season with a year off.
Yeah, for sure. And we saw it last year in the Legacy Classic. He went 1 for 3. He drove in a run. He was a huge part of the reason that the Majors won that game. We'll see if Cleveland can continue this season. Like you mentioned, .320 average in 2018. 2019 was a bit of a down year from that standpoint, but he still hit home runs. He still got pop in that bat, but he will be the first one to tell you he doesn't quite have the speed he used to.
He's not going to be out there stealing bases, that's for sure.
No.
He knows that. He knows his role. We're going to get started here in a little bit at Labatt Park. Dylan, we have the time. Let's go check out the starting pitching matchup because this is an exciting one. Owen Boone will get the bump for the London Majors against Zach Sloan here for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Zach Sloan gets the mound for the Maple Leafs. He went 1-6 with a 9.67 ERA in 2019. 609 strikeouts per 9 and a 720 walks per 9. So that walks per 9 is elevated. Sloan has the stuff, and for the Majors, it's going to be key to make sure you are patient at the plate. As you see there, he walks a lot of batters, or at least he did in 2019. It's been a year off, so we'll see if that's changed. But we hope that the Majors can tee off on him a little bit. If they're patient, that's going to be the key to victory. For the Majors, Owen Boone goes. He pitched in the Legacy Classic, pitched 7 scoreless innings, or 6, I believe, struck out 10 batters, absolutely dominated in that game. 4.86 ERA in 2019. A bit of a down year by his standards. He'll be looking to bounce back this season, but with an arm like Owen Boone, I'm sure he will.
A lot of people will look at that ERA number for Boone and think that's not going to win you many ball games. Not really the case here in the Intercounty Baseball League. If you're new to the league, that number is kind of right around where you want it, especially when you have a team that's going to be built around offense. Of course, getting it lower would be fantastic for this London Majors team, but if he can keep it there, this Majors team is going to drive in runs, they're going to produce runs, and I think that's going to put the Majors in a position to win this year.
Absolutely. If Boone can have a season that replicates that of last year, and you look at that ERA, it's such a small sample size in an Intercounty Baseball League season. Normally it's 36 games. This year it's 30. He had a couple bad outings. For the most part, he was giving you quality starts every day that he went out there to pitch. But there were a couple of bad outings that raised that ERA. And for starters, normally those outliers don't factor in. But in such a short sample like you have in the IBL, it will. If Boone can give that same effort, that same performance this season, with the offense he's got behind him, expect the Majors to get some wins.
Dylan, it has been a long time coming for a lot of the fans here in London to see live baseball. And not just live baseball, live sports. And this is the first live sporting event in the Forest City since the COVID-19 pandemic hit. The fans are eager to see the Majors play. We saw it with the ticket sales, sold out in 4 days. We just got news today that capacity could be rising in the coming weeks. The Majors are going to be a hot ticket here, and I think for this Majors team, it's going to be important to start on the right foot, get off to a good start, keep the seats filled, and keep people coming to the ballpark.
Absolutely. If the Majors, people in London are craving baseball. They're craving live sporting events because it's been such a long time since this many people were able to fill a venue for baseball. And like you mentioned, this game sold out in 4 days. It was awesome to see people come out and buy tickets for this game. If the Majors can get off to a strong start, that is huge for them because that continues the drive in ticket sales, the demand for tickets, and hopefully the Majors will succeed this season, and that's going to be partially due to the fans because under current restrictions, and that will continue until full capacity is allowed, the Majors have the possibility to have the most fans in the league. And if they can take advantage of that, use that home field advantage, and continue to grow it, continue to keep that interest high with a strong start to the season, that's huge for them.
There is going to be few games going on. Of course, one thing we haven't touched on so far in the pregame show is with this 2021 Intercounty Baseball League season, one team not taking part in the season is Guelph has elected to sit out the year. Kitchener is actually going to have a little bit of a delayed start as they haven't moved to Stage 2 yet. So this major season and this Intercounty Baseball League season is going to be off to a start. Just 2 other games going on in the league tonight, and this will be the first 3 games. Obviously, like we said, the first night of the season for the Intercounty Baseball League. Brantford is in Welland, and Barrie is in Hamilton. And pardon me, I think that's actually Welland in Brantford, and
yes,
then Hamilton hosting Barrie.
Yeah, so Hamilton gets their home opener tonight. Welland is in Brantford. That game gets going at 8 o'clock. Barrie-Hamilton rolls around right around the same time as us. And like you mentioned, the rain factored in, and 3 games is going to be something we're going to see a lot of in the IBL season because it's so compact. First Friday of the year, you would have normally seen 4, but Kitchener, of course, in Stage 2, and then Guelph not playing this season. So the max you'll get is 3 games, and that's what IBL fans will have to deal with this season.
I think after the year we've had, Dylan, 3 games in one night, You'd take it, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
You'd take it. The London Majors, we've talked about it before, the offense this team is going to bring. One of the big subjects over the offseason was the pitching. Are they going to have the depth without the import arms that they've had in years past? Roop Chanderdat, it looks like, has solved that problem. He's gone out and he's got some veteran guys. He's gone out and he's got some good arms that can fill innings. He's not going to have anyone that's going to go out there and throw 8 or 9. Let's not be mistaken about that. But he's got guys that can fill innings this year.
Absolutely. He's got a lot of different arms, and that's going to be huge for teams this season. Having a lot of pitchers, and in a year like this, it might be quantity over quality because a lot of guys have had the year off. Their arms are not built up to the point where they usually would be. There are no import pitchers that can come out and throw a lot of innings, so it's going to be up to local guys who can just give Roop Chanderdat and the majors and other teams around the league innings. And Roop believes that he's built a pitching staff that can do that. We'll see if that happens this season.
Like we said, with one team sitting out and one team delayed, we're just off to a slow start here in the Intercounty Baseball League season. But around the league, you've been able to sense the excitement from the fans. We're seeing it here in London tonight. You're going to see it in Brantford. You're going to see it in Hamilton. People are excited to get out and see live sports, live baseball. And I think watch for the energy tonight. That's all I'm going to say. Watch for the energy tonight. It's going to be amazing to see all the fans out here tonight cheering on a team. You got to keep in mind, they haven't cheered on a team in person in a year and a half.
Yeah.
It is going to be amazing.
No, for sure it is, and I think these fans are excited. Just hearing when PA announcer Eric Collins was announcing that the majors were going to be taking the field and then announcing the game with COVID protocols, you could feel the buzz in the air. The fans are excited to be here. They want to be at Labatt Park. They want to watch live sports, and I think they are going to be rowdy tonight, and I think that plays into the majors' hand.
And you're hearing it right there. If you can hear it over our mics, the crowd coming alive as Eric Collins welcomes them back into the ballpark for the first time in 696 days.
That feels crazy to say now.
Yeah, that is a big number. When we were looking up that number, I thought it was going to be like, what, 400, 500, 696, 4 days shy of being 700 days since the last time the Majors took to the field. We say that. The Majors played the Legacy Classic. Of course, that game was an exhibition game. For all intents and purposes, except for the record of Labatt Park, that game didn't matter.
Yeah, no, for sure. It mattered to keep the record alive. They wanted baseball played here. This world record means a lot to the city, and they wanted to keep that going. We'll see a lot of games at Labatt Park this season. So the record is in no danger, and it's good to have meaningful baseball back.
We're seeing the teams out there getting warmed up as Eric Collins welcomes them back into the ballpark here. The fans filling out. One thing about the COVID protocols, right now we're at 25%, which here at Labatt Park is right around 1,100 fans. We'll talk about those protocols because I think it's important to, talk about them. They have to be masked when they're not in their own seats. They can only sit with members of the group that they came with. And, of course, masks on when you leave your seat. That's a big one. A lot of people wondering if there's just going to be people roaming around without masks still, and not the case here at Labatt Park tonight.
Absolutely not. They still got to have these protocols in place. You see the fans on your screen there. When they're in their seats, they're socially distanced. So they are allowed to go without masks because they are with the group that they came to the ballpark with, and they are socially distanced, so no masks when they sit. However, when they get up, they must put their mask on, and that is to ensure the health and safety of everybody at the ballpark.
Everyone that is a London Majors crew member, of course, having to mask up at all times. You've seen it up here in the pregame show with the both of us wearing our masks. Let's be honest, Dylan, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but when we're this close up here, you got to do what you got to do, and I'll take that over sitting home on the couch, not being able to take in a London Majors game.
Absolutely, and with so many games having to be broadcast remotely, I think we're both thankful that we get to be at the ballpark, and if I've got to wear a mask to keep everybody safe and watch baseball live, I'll definitely take that.
We're seeing the umpiring crew roll in here for a ground rules getting started shortly. The three-man crew to get this season started. Dylan, the umpiring in chief talked about, and we talked about it when we interviewed him, when was that, over a year ago, some of the changes that the IBL wanted to go to, and there's a few rule changes actually coming into play this season.
Yeah, the biggest one is the extra base runner, or base runner and extra innings, I should say. Every extra inning, just like you would see in a normal MLB season, or what's become the normal MLB season, every extra inning starts the runner at second base. That is to speed up games. If you remember 2 years ago, no, I know you will remember this, I hope our viewers at home do as well, there was a game that went 12 innings between the London Majors and Brantford Red Sox. Those games will be far less common this season because of the fact that they start with that runner at second base. It's to speed up games. It's to ensure that fans are able to stay longer and they'll get a result that they want to see. So there will be a runner at second base to begin extra innings.
And we talked about that runner at second base, and it's been a hot topic among the Major League fans, right, who've been watching Major League Baseball over the last year and a bit that they've had this rule in place. I wanted to ask you, are you a fan of the runner on second base to start extra innings? I know a lot of people, a lot of the old school fans, not a fan of this. I think the stats don't lie. It speeds up the games, and it really is going to avoid those 15, 16-inning games.
Absolutely. And if you look around the league, around Major League Baseball, how many games have you seen go into even the 12th inning? They're few and far between. This does work, and I don't hate it. I like the rule. I think it speeds up games. I think it adds to the strategy. And, you know, I don't mind the rule having the runner at second base. I understand it's inconvenient for relief pitchers, and it's definitely not great for them. But you know what? They gotta deal with it. It speeds up games, and that's where we are right now, trying to speed up the sport.
The majors getting announced out here onto the field, Dylan, and Connor Ambrosio getting announced there kind of makes you want to talk about the newest affiliation for the London Majors in the St. Thomas Tomcats. He played there last season, and we're going to see that affiliation work throughout this year. Guys coming up, you're going to see it, I think, a lot with the pitchers, right?
Yes.
You're going to see that pitching staff come up from the junior Tomcats, play, fill in the innings when you need to. If the majors have to face injuries, guys that can't make it to games, you will see those arms come up here. And that I think that affiliation is huge for this majors team.
Absolutely, and I believe it was set to begin last season, but it never got going due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It still exists this season, and it's going to be huge, as you mentioned, when it comes to pitching, because they are going to need arms. Arms need to be fresh. They need good innings, and they might have to call some guys up from the St. Thomas Tomcats. We might see some of the majors right now go down to the Tomcats and get some work in there and call some new guys up. It's all about keeping the team fresh, and the majors having that affiliation with the St. Thomas Tomcats is going to allow them to do that.
And I don't know if our mics are picking that up, Dylan, but that roar is for the big man himself, Cleveland Brownlee, getting the ovation here from the 1,100 fans at Labatt Park to welcome him back. He's been a staple in this lineup for 11 years now, and one of the most familiar faces around the league, not just on the majors.
Absolutely. Everybody knows Cleveland Brownlee when he walks into the ballpark. They've seen him. They know of all the accolades that he's got. He hit his 100th home run last season on Canada Day. Everybody knows who Cleveland Brownlee is, and everybody is always excited to see him. He's a guy who's always got a smile on his face, who's pumped to be at the ballpark, and he's just awesome to be around.
The majors finishing up their introductions there, and of course you get a first look at the 2021 London Majors. Another big roar from the crowd there as Chris McQueen is welcomed back to the diamond here in the London Majors uniform. He of course took some time off the last few years, but he's one guy that me personally, Dylan, I'm excited to have back in this lineup. He's hitting in the 9-hole tonight, but he's going to fit in right there. He's a speed guy, gets on base. If you haven't seen Chris McQueen play before, watch for the bunt.
Absolutely. You know what? I wasn't here, and I don't think you were either, when Chris McQueen last played for the majors. The one thing we hear constantly from coaches, from fans, from other media members is that this guy can bunt and use his wheels. So watch for that when he takes the field.
Eric Collins addressing the crowd here about what we have gone through over the last 696 days, and well, not quite that long because the pandemic started after the baseball season ended, but it is absolutely amazing to see everyone out here tonight, and we are seeing them rise now to take a moment of silence, and we'll do the same to reflect on everything that has happened over the last 696 days, or really a little bit shorter than that since the pandemic started.
If you also think about just how far we have come, and just how much, and who we have to be thankful for. Thank you. At this time, we ask you to please remain standing and join the singing of our national anthem. To introduce tonight's anthem singer, we go down the field to Al Coons. Thank you so much, Eric, and would like you to
So the anthem's complete, and we are almost ready for baseball here at Labatt Memorial Park. Welcome inside at the Forks of the Thames as the London Majors get set to do battle with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Dylan, we apologize to our listeners at home for the audio issues if it was a little bit low. Like everyone else in the 696 days, it's been a while, and we're still working things out over here.
Absolutely. We ask that you bear with us tonight as we may have some technical difficulties along the way, and that includes not being able to hear field audio. But we'll try to bring that to you as the game goes along. It's been a long time since we've been in this booth producing the YouTube game. And, of course, we've got Jackson producing here for us. He does an awesome job, and we're hoping that we'll be able to bring you in-depth coverage that you are looking for of this IBL season.
Majors Baseball coming your way shortly here on Majors TV. We once again thank you for joining us wherever you are joining us. Lots of people unable to get to the park tonight, and not because they didn't want to, Dylan. Sold out here, 25% capacity on opening night for the Majors. Sees 1,100 fans in the seats, and as you might have heard, they're not sparing anything. They are loud and they are ready to go tonight.
Yeah, they are loud, they are excited, and I know a lot of people wanted to be here. A lot of kids, I'm sure, wanted to come, and that includes Henry Collins, who's the son of our own PA announcer, Eric Collins. So we give him a little shout-out tonight, but not everybody who wanted to come could be here. And William Collins as well. Sorry, I almost forgot about his brother. Make sure you get to bed.
I think Dad said to get to bed, Dylan. Yeah. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what we're told. So just a message out to you two to get to bed. But yes, everybody wanted to be here tonight, I'm sure, and I'm sure the people that are in the ballpark are excited to watch some great baseball.
London Majors Baseball coming your way shortly, like we said, as some on-field festivities continue here. Not out of the ordinary for an opening day game, and that's what we get here tonight. Majors looking to start the season on a winning note and try to win the first game of the season here. The Toronto Maple Leafs, as we talked about in the pregame, they will be looking to do the same. This is their first game of the season. Was scheduled to be their third, but it is their first game, and they're eager to go. You can tell here, and we talked to some of the players briefly, and of course the manager for the Maple Leafs. They're ready to go.
Absolutely, they are. David Topley says they are ready. They're excited to play baseball once again. On the sidelines right now, they are lined up. They're getting their gear ready to go. They're excited to be at this ballpark for some great IBL action. They want to be playing games again. I think everybody's excited for that.
Well, Dylan, as they continue on here and we get set to go, it is one thing to think about how far we've come since the 2019 live streams. If you're joining us now, you're going to notice throughout the course of this game some new camera angles, and hopefully we're going to improve on that as the season goes along. And we're just really excited to bring baseball back to the fans that have been waiting so long for this.
Absolutely, we are. It feels good to be back in the press box again talking about baseball. It's been a long time, and we've got a great setup this season, so we hope you enjoy. Obviously, as things go along, as we get more and more used to it, things will improve, but we hope you enjoy the quality of our broadcast here throughout the season.
Well, we wait, Dylan, once again, for those of you who might just be joining us, let's check out those starting lineups one more time here, because the London Majors and Toronto Maple Leafs getting set to go here with some high-powered offensive lineups. Once again, this is the Toronto Maple Leafs lineup they will be sending out there today. Familiar faces for IBL fans and some power bats in the lineup.
Absolutely. Grant Temain leads off at second base. Jordan Castaldo, 2019 Triple Crown winner, is at first. Sean Riley, all-time home run leader, is DHing and batting third. He was selected in the Guelph dispersal draft by the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. Garrett Takamatsu bats cleanup and catches. Jonathan Salazzo is at third base batting fifth. Connor Lewis in center field batting sixth. Jeff McLeod, selected in the second round by Toronto in the Guelph dispersal draft, is in right field. Brian Sewell is in left. He's batting eighth. And R.J. Johnson Jr. is the shortstop.
Now, we saw a lot of Guelph players on that Toronto lineup. Not really the case over on the London side of things here. Here is the London Majors lineup. Candell to lead things off. Arteaga right after him. And then some guys that they're hoping are going to be huge power bats for the Majors right in the middle. Johnson, Brownlee, and Reichstein again.
Yes, once again, Johnson, Brownlee, Reichstein, and then Josh Williams, Hayden Jaco in there as well. They can hit. This team is going to hit, and I'm excited to watch the bats on full display tonight. It might take a couple of weeks to get the timing down. It's been a long time since a lot of these guys have swung the bats, but we'll see how they fare against Zach Sloan tonight. Another thing we want to mention, Austin Wilkie is the London selection for the Guelph dispersal draft. He's not in the starting lineup tonight. I believe he will be with the team shortly.
The London Majors and Toronto Maple Leafs getting set to go here from Labatt Park on opening week. Exciting to have baseball back here at the Forks of the Thames. Zach Sloan on the mound here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Owen Boone as we talked about going for the London Majors, as we get set and ready to go. Lots of excitement going on here as they finish up on field. And I think we've talked about this going into the game, Dylan. We expected this. It's going to go a little bit longer. Here's once again the starting pitchers for tonight's game. Zach Sloan, Owen Boone. You talked about the stats for Zach Sloan earlier on when we first looked at the pitchers. It's not going to be easy for the Majors tonight. They actually haven't had great success against Sloan themselves.
No, they have not. It's Zach Sloan. I believe they own a 187 batting average against Zach Sloan with current Majors on the team. The best faring Major is actually a lefty hitter in Byron Reichstein. He's 1 for 3 in his career against Zach Sloan with 2 walks. Cleveland Brownlee is 1 for 5, and I believe they're the only 2 hitters in this Majors lineup who have hits against Zach Sloan. Obviously, the team had some other faces in previous years, but out of current Majors, Cleveland Brownlee and Byron Reichstein have fared the best against this Toronto arm.
And we're going to see the lefty on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. And for the Majors, Owen Boone once again going. Exciting to see him back out onto the mound here. Had a milestone year last year, or should I say in 2019 with the strikeouts, pitched in the Legacy Classic game. A longtime familiar face on the hill for the London Majors. And without the imports this year, it's going to be important to see how he does.
Yes, Boone is going to be a heavily relied upon arm this season for the Majors. He's got a lot of strikeouts. He's a dependable arm, and we're excited to see how he fares this season.
We apologize for the pause there once again, working on the audio issues, and we wish we could have brought that to you as it was a moment of reflection there for the Indigenous peoples of this land, Dylan, that was going on the field here, and another moment of silence. And it looks like now we're going to get there for the ceremonial first pitch and almost baseball coming to you from Labatt Park.
Yes, we're almost there for baseball. It was an important moment of reflection for everybody here at Labatt Park about Indigenous peoples and then the relations between us and Indigenous peoples throughout the years. So we're upset that we couldn't bring it to you. We apologize about that, but we had to pause for the moment of silence.
And here is that first pitch, Dylan, and that looks like a strike to me. If we're in the Atlantic League with those automated strike zones, you might get that one.
Yes, you might. It bounced on the way in, but looked like it ended up in the strike zone.
So we get set and ready to go here as the Majors eagerly waiting to take the field and get ready to play some baseball in front of this hometown crowd. Getting ready on the field to hype up this London Majors crew and ready to go. Once again here, Dylan Baker, Noah Smith to call the action for you tonight. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth and shortly to the field where the London Majors will do battle with the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first game of this 2021 IBL season.
Yes, first game of the IBL season gets underway tonight at Labatt Park between the Majors and the Leafs. Leafs have their number 1 pitcher going, Zach Sloan. He was probably scheduled to start on Wednesday night, but that game got rained out. He's here against the Majors. Majors have their ace, Owen Boone, going as well.
Continuing down on field there as it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had a game, so anything that has happened between 696 days from now and now is going to be talked about on the field. As the London Majors thanking the City Council for getting us back out here today.
It's Mayor Ed Holder addressing the crowd right now about the first major sporting event to happen in this city since the pandemic began. As you hear the crowd cheer there.
And we've talked about that throughout the course of this pregame show, not just the first Majors game in the Forest City, but the first major sporting event and major event in general. And it is exciting that it is happening for the Majors Club here at Labatt Park, a park that in this city, of course, holds so much history, and they're raring and ready to go out there.
Yeah, everybody's excited, and it's good to have the mayor out to talk to the crowd. Everybody's following protocols, and everybody understands the current situation that we live in. You must wear a mask when you get up out of your seat. You have to take precautions to keep not only yourself, but others around you safe. And the mayor is reminding everybody of that and also welcoming them to such a huge event because it's the first step in a return to normalcy. It feels like having fans at Labatt Park on a Friday night is a step towards normalcy in this city of London. At Labatt Park that holds a world record, it's a big moment.
So Ed Holder wraps it up, and now, Dylan, now, it is almost time to play baseball here at Labatt Park.
Yes, I would expect the teams to take the field shortly. We've had ceremonies from a variety of different people so far, and we're excited to bring you baseball once that gets underway. Some important stuff to take care of before that, so we can't just overlook that, but we're excited to bring you baseball.
And here come the London Majors taking the field for the first time in 696 days at Labatt Park. The Forks of the Thames, the site of this one, as we get ready to go. Owen Boone, of course, on the mound for this Majors club. And we look at the defense, Dylan. We've talked about the rosters. We talked about the lineup. I think this Majors infield is going to be one that is going to be good defensively.
Yeah, it should be interesting to watch because Keith Candell over at shortstop, the defense for the Majors starts with him. He's very solid defensively over there, dependable guy. He's got a good arm. He makes the plays out there. Carlos Artiega, natural shortstop, is at second base, and that typically bodes well because shortstops need a lot of range. They need a lot of skill to play that position, and shifting them over to second base is not as hard as shifting a second baseman over to shortstop. Josh Williams over at first base. He plays a solid defensive first base. No concerns there. Julian Johnson is going to be a guy I'm really interested to watch tonight. This is his first start in the IBL at third base. I am eager to see how he fares over there defensively because we know Julian Johnson can hit. We saw it in the Legacy Classic. He cranked a double to the wall. Johnson is going to swing the bat, but we'll see how he fares defensively. He's been taking a lot of reps through road practices, through BP. He's looked good over there at third base in the past so far this season, and I'm excited to see how he does here in Game 1.
Owen Boone getting set with his warm-up pitches now here at Labatt Park. Once again, we welcome you in wherever you're listening, watching from tonight. A little bit of a delayed start being at the opening game of the season, but we are almost ready to go here. The umpiring crew, a familiar one here for the London Majors as they get ready to go. And Owen Boone, of course, a familiar face on the mound for those London Majors. Hitting Jaco behind the mound to catch him here. Two guys that you got to imagine, Dylan, are still getting used to each other.
Absolutely. With Jaco coming over in the offseason, Boone being so experienced in the IBL, there's going to be an adjustment period, and I'm eager to see how they fare together tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs, who can certainly hit.
So the crowd comes to life as we get ready to go here at Labatt Memorial Park. London Majors hosting fans and baseball here for the first time in 696 days. Owen Boone on the mound to get started here. He goes into his windup. First pitch on its way. It's going to be there for a strike, and that's how things get started.
We talked about wanting a great start to the season for the Majors. Great start to the ball game for Owen Boone. Get that first pitch strike in there. Get the crowd into it right away.
Boone ready here as he grabs his sign from Jaco, the new arm. Pitch there on 0-1 is going to miss inside, even the count up at a ball and a strike here.
A pitch just came in a little bit on Grant Tamain, the second baseman for Toronto in this ball game, so the count moves to 1-1.
Boone now 1-1 delivery, catches the zone here. A ball and two strikes here to the leadoff man, Grant Tamain.
Great off-speed pitch there from Owen Boone. We saw the movement curved right back into the strike zone, and now it's 1-2. Great chance to put him away.
1-2 delivery here from Boone, just off the plate there as he misses trying to find the outside edge, maybe get Tamain to chase there. 2 balls and 2 strikes here for the Majors right-hand hurler. Grabs his sign and looks in. Jaco's setting up on the inside corner. Boone to the plate. This one going to be fouled off and out of play over top of the first base grandstand.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of fans chasing after that ball, like our very own Jackson Farrow did last year during the Legacy Classic. Got himself a souvenir, and I'm sure a lot of fans will be trying to grab this one in the return of the IBL to London.
I know he's sitting over here with a little bit of a giggle. Pitch now from Boone. That one going to miss upstairs. 3 balls, 2 strikes here to the Toronto Maple Leafs leadoff man.
The umpires in the crowd thought that one should have been called a strike, but they didn't get the call.
And you got to imagine if there's 1,100 of them tonight, Dylan. They've been eager and ready to make some calls from the grandstand.
Absolutely.
Boone now on his 3-2 pitch to the plate. This one hit on the ground. Second base picked up on a hop and shoveled over to first in time. And there is the first out of the season for the majors.
Great play there by Carlos Artiega at second base. Got it off. He didn't barrel that pitch up, I should say, for Grant there. And he went right to Carlos. Carlos was able to shovel over to first base, and Josh Williams over there at first. Now, one thing that I've noticed from Owen Boone and Hayden Jaco here so far in the ball game, Boone has been working very quickly. And that's a good sign. That means him and Jaco are on the same page. So Boone is working quickly. If he starts to slow down, we know that him and Jaco maybe are having some discrepancies in their signs. But as of right now, it looks like they're working well, and that's a great thing to see because Jaco is so recently acquired by the team.
Boone looks in here to start the at-bat. That one going to miss outside. 1 ball, no strike here with an out already here in the top half of the first inning. Now the 1-0 from Owen Boone. Fouled straight back to the screen here. We'll even the count up at 1-1. Boone, of course, back for another season here for the London Majors. Started in the Legacy Classic over the summer. The only game we saw in 2020 here at Labatt Park to keep the streak alive, and now back out here to start the 2021 season. 1-1 delivery to the plate. Swung on and missed. Goes to the off-speed pitch there. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Took a little something off of that pitch to Jordan Castaldo, as you mentioned. Noah Castaldo, obviously a very potent bat for these Toronto Maple Leafs as the crowd gets into it now.
Castaldo digs into that left-hand batter's box and gets ready to go against the righty Boone. Boone to the plate. That one going to miss outside. Trying to go to the off-speed again.
Nearly got the corner. Looked like it might have been a little bit low to Castaldo. He's a very patient hitter at the plate. Draws his fair share of walks as well.
Castaldo, of course, coming back to Toronto. And you can bet he's excited to go here in this 2021 season. A full season, almost a full season at the pitch for Castaldo. That 2-2 pitch going to miss up and out. It's now full count as Boone goes to another full count here to start the top half of the first inning.
Yeah, it looks like Boone trying to be a little bit too fine to start the game, and of course hasn't worked in a while more than likely, so he's just trying to find that command early on in the ball game.
3-2 as Jaco gives the sign and Boone looks in. To the plate, called strike 3 as Boone punches out Castaldo on the fastball. 2 gone in the top half of the first.
The crowd really got into it there as Boone got the outside corner. Castaldo didn't seem to like the call too much, but Boone was able to get it from Chris Walters behind the plate. So great start for Boone, has 2 outs. He's thrown a lot of pitches at 13 so far. He's got to deal with a big bat in Sean Riley, who we're used to seeing in a Guelph Royals uniform. Back in Toronto, he spent some time there in 2013. I'm sure he's excited to be back playing baseball in the IBL.
And, of course, a dangerous bat here on the Maple Leafs lineup. One of, if not the top hitters in Intercounty Baseball League history. And he digs in here on the 2-out pitch. That one upstairs. It's going to go to 1-0 to start the at-bat to Sean Riley. Riley, the big righty in that right-hand batter's box, and Boone working quickly here to him. Comes up and in. Backs him off the plate a little bit. 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, I can tell you this for certain, Noah. Sean and I don't know each other very well, but I know that Sean does not get intimidated in that batter's box. He's a big man. He knows that his reputation is a good one, and he's not afraid to have a pitch come up and in on him. He's not going to get intimidated in that righty's batter's box.
Boone down 2-0 to Riley. Has to come at him. That one going to be fouled up and off the high screen. Foul, now 2-1.
2-0 pitch. You knew he had to throw him a strike, and he did right there. Riley just missed it, fouling that one back.
Jaco, although new to the league, you got to imagine he's been told all about Sean Riley and what he can do to the baseball if you leave it over the heart of the plate. Boone knows that, of course. He's pitched to him before in the past, but Jaco must have got the lecture from not only Rup Chanardant, but Boone and numerous players on the majors as well.
Absolutely. Riley is known throughout the league.
2-1 now inside on Riley again as they try to put it on his hands. 3-1.
It seems the plan from Jaco and Boone early is to not let Sean Riley get his hands extended. They're trying to keep the ball in on him, and they didn't with that foul ball. They had to throw it over the plate because it was a 2-0 count, but it looks like the early game plan is to keep it in on Sean Riley.
Boone here on 3-1 to Riley. That one catches the outer part of the zone. 3-2 now. Third straight full count. This one with 2 outs as Boone looks to escape the top half of the first.
It's a big pitch coming up here to Riley. Obviously not necessarily a threat to steal bases when he gets on, but you don't want a runner on in this Toronto lineup that can certainly hit the ball.
Majors fans trying to get behind Owen Boone on this 3-2 pitch. Into his windup here, misses upstairs, and he's going to walk Sean Riley here with a pair of outs.
He's been able to get an out on the previous 2 full counts, but this one he misses just high. And you got to be careful when you pitch to Sean Riley, because one missed location, and that ball could be in the river over the left field wall. So you got to be careful when you pitch to Sean Riley. I'd rather him walk Riley than allow him to do damage to a baseball.
Garrett Takamatsu now here for Toronto. He gets the chance to bat in the top half of the first with Sean Riley standing over there at first base. First pitch called a strike. It's 0-1.
Takamatsu took the year off last year, or 2019 I should say. Only played 1 game, went 2 for 4. The previous year he played 34 games, had a .319 average, 3 home runs, 22 RBI. So Takamatsu definitely a big bat, big part of this lineup.
Riley not a threat to run. Boone gives it a look and then throws that one in the dirt, but Jaco with the block and able to keep it in front of him as it rolled down the first base line.
You know, as you mentioned, Riley not necessarily a threat to steal a base, but if that ball gets far enough away from Hayden Jaco, big backstop, big foul territory here at Labatt Park, Riley could easily move up a base. Good on Jaco keeping that in front of him.
Jaco, of course, coming into London, not knowing this park overly well other than what he's been told, and going to try to keep everything in front of him if he can here. That one going to miss inside. 2-1 now to the cleanup hitter here for Toronto in the top of the first inning here at Labatt Park.
Fastball was thrown so hard, Jaco almost fell over when he caught it.
Wasn't expecting the location is what I would imagine there. 2-1 now as Boone is ready, comes to the plate. That one fouled straight back into the screen. And now Boone, another chance here with 2 strikes. This time on Takamatsu as he'll look to try and get the majors to the bats for the first time in the game.
You know, Boone's got the stuff. He's got a hard fastball. I say come right after Takamatsu. I know the damage that he can do to you. Only 3 home runs in his career, so maybe he sprays one to a gap somewhere, but come right at him. You don't want to throw too many pitches.
Boone grabs his sign here on 2-2. To the plate, this one hit in the air down the right field line. Running it down, and that one's going to drop fair. Into the gap, they'll have to get it in quick here, but Riley's going to be held at third. And the damage not done here with a pair of outs as that one dropped down the line.
Yeah, right there. That pitch from Owen Boone seemed to be located pretty well. Takamatsu didn't get a lot of barrel on that bat. It was hit pretty well down the right field line, and Byron had to chase over it. He was shaded a little bit towards right center field, had to come a long way down the line, tried to dive and lay out, make that catch, was unable to do so. Now you got 2 runners in scoring position for Jonathan Salazzo, who competed in the Guelph Royals Home Run Derby last year. He is another potent bat in this lineup.
Boone working from the windup here with runners on second and third, 2 out. First pitch also there for a strike, 0-1. Something that he has done well so far in the top half of the first inning as his pitch count gets up there. You see it on your screen at 24. Wind up delivery here. This one hit on the ground up the middle. Going to be a tough play. Has to get rid of it quick over to 1 in time. And the Majors will escape danger here in the top half of the first inning and head to the bats with the score tied at 0.
You know, when we talked about the Majors defense, we talked about Keith Candell and what he brings to that shortstop position. That ball was hit right back up the middle. It hit part of the mound, which slowed the ball down. Candell had to make a quick play. Sure, Salazzo doesn't speed out of that batter's box, but he's certainly got enough wheels to come close to beating that one out, and you saw it right there. Candell had to be quick once he got there, made the play, and recorded the out, so the Majors escape a jam.
So the Majors coming to the bats here with no score on the board. A walk, and I believe what will be scored is a hit in the top half of the first inning. A look there at the crowd here in London tonight. 1,100 socially distanced Majors fans who are ready to go.
They're excited to be here. They've got a great game on tap. No score early on. We'll see if the Majors can do something with the bats.
Well, we welcome you back to Labatt Park here at the Forks of the Thames. No score as we go to the bottom half of the first inning. Just a hit for the Maple Leafs and a walk in the top half of the first inning. They got 2 runners on, couldn't bring them across. And now it's the Majors getting set to lead off things here in the bottom half of the first inning. First pitch there for a strike from Zach Sloan. It's 0-1.
Keith Candell back at the top of this Majors order after a couple of years off with the pandemic. We'll see how he fares in his first game back.
Swings through that one way out in front of the off speed. 0-2 quickly here on the Majors leadoff hitter in Keith Candell.
Yeah, Sloan definitely took something off of that pitch there. Candell wasn't quite able to catch up to the change in speed, and now he's down 0-2.
That one outside, 1-2 here as he tried to get him fishing outside the zone. Sloan, we showed his stats before the game in the pregame show. Didn't have a fantastic year in 2019, but he's been pretty good against the majors in his career, at least the majors that are left. Off speed outside, 2-2 now.
Keith Candell, one of those majors. He's 0-2 in his career against Sloan. Going to look to change that in today's game.
Batting here at the top of the lineup. He's one of the guys that has been uber excited to get back to the ballpark, get back in the pinstripes, and get back to battling here for this Majors offense. Outside, called strike 3 as he went to the off-speed. 1 down here in the bottom of the first.
Keith Candell has a conversation with home plate umpire Chris Walters there. Didn't quite like that call as it got the outside corner there from Zach Sloan, so he moves to 0-3 in his career against the Maple Leafs, as that'll bring up Carlos Artiega, who was the leadoff hitter for much of the season in 2019 until Yuki Yasuda came over for the Majors, and then they kind of flip-flopped back and forth. One was leading off, the other one was batting second. Artiega's been a big part of this team, or was a big part of this team last year, had a career year, was hitting over 300, and we'll see if he can replicate those numbers this season.
Artiega here batting in the 2-hole for London. Of course, been in the Majors lineup there as he squares around to bunt. That's something you'll see a lot from Carlos as he likes to square around just for fun on that first pitch.
Yeah, that first pitch, he takes it quite often and will square around just to see what the defense does and see if he'll maybe be able to get a bunt base hit later on in the game.
Sloan to the plate. This one hit on the ground but foul down the third baseline there.
We see Carlos here in a 2-strike count. Now, I talked to Rube Chanadad before the season about Carlos returning to the team. He told me that Carlos is one of the better contact guys in the league. He just doesn't strike out, is what Rube said, and we'll see if he's able to get his way out of this 0-2 count against Sloan.
Yeah, in the hole, but we'll see if the contact back can come here for Carlos. Hits that one on the ground, up the middle. That one caught, but not enough. Even if he got that one clean, he wasn't going to beat the speedy Carlos Artiega, and he's on here with an infield single with 1 out.
R.J. Johnson Jr., the shortstop for these Toronto Maple Leafs, made a fantastic play, diving up the middle to get that ball as it nearly got by. He kept it on the infield. And, you know, with Carlos's wheels, you never know. He might have been able to get to second base. I doubt it, but the Majors have their first hit. And no shock, it's coming from Carlos. And like Rube said, he doesn't strike out right there. He had a big base hit, and now there's a runner on base for the big bats of Julian Johnson, Cleveland Brownlee, Byron Reichstein, Hayden Jaco, and Josh Williams.
From the stretch now is Sloan has a look at Carlos and now comes to the plate. That one missing up high.
Julian spent some time with the Maple Leafs in 2018, so you wonder if maybe him and Sloan know each other.
Johnson, the big righty, batting in the 3-hole here for the Majors. Going to look to try and feast on the lefty Sloan here. Takes his time, comes to the plate now. That one going to miss as well. 2-0 now here on the Majors 3-hitter.
Great hitters count for Johnson. Now, Johnson started the 2018 season with the Toronto Maple Leafs, only played 5 games, hit a .182 with a home run and 5 RBIs, and then he went to the Czech Republic, played with Technika Brno in the Czech Republic in late 2018, and continued his baseball career there.
Throw over, and Artiega back in sliding, safely head first there. You know they're going to check on him at least a few times. The Majors, one thing that they have on the team this year that they've had in years past, Dylan, but now they have in bunches is speed when you look at McQueen, Candell, and Artiega. Fouled back.
Absolutely, as you mentioned, that one gets fouled back there. They've got Artiega, they got McQueen, they got Candell, they got Humberto Ruiz, who is 7 stolen bases away from 50 in his IBL career. But yes, they've got speed in this lineup, and Rube Chanardad loves to utilize that. He loves the small ball, and I think it's going to be a big part of the Majors game this season, despite the fact they got a lot of power hitters in the middle of the order.
Lefty has a look over, comes to the plate again, and going around on the check swing there is Johnson, 2-2.
Yeah, Johnson did not want to swing at that pitch. Got a little jammed, I think, there by Zach Sloan. Had some late movement on that one, and he swings right through it for strike 2. So now he's in a tougher count. It's 2-2. Sloan still has the upper hand here. Johnson has to be careful not to be too aggressive.
The 2-2, that one going to miss. Johnson taking on 2-2, and it'll move the count to full. And Dylan will talk about it here. You got to wonder if the Majors might put Arteaga in motion. If they're not going to do it now, it's something to watch for as the season goes along.
Absolutely. Full count, 1 out. This is a good spot to put Carlos in motion if they're going to do it.
Oh, and he's picked off there. He was going all the way. Is now Arteaga in a rundown, throw wide. He's going to have to work his way back, and he's out. Arteaga picked off there for the second out of the inning.
Now, we talked about how they were likely going to put him in motion, and Zach Sloan was on the same page. Sloan knows this team. He's faced them before. He knows how they like to play their games, and he knew that Arteaga was likely going to be on the move on that play, and now it's a completely different at-bat for Johnson, who steps up with nobody on and 2 outs versus a runner on and 1 out. It was the play that you kind of knew the Majors were going to be going to, and you just hoped that Carlos wasn't going to get picked off, and unfortunately for the Majors, he was.
Of course, Arteaga being in the league for a number of years now, the Maple Leafs, and knowing exactly what was coming. Now 3-2. That one going to miss, and it'll be a walk here with 2 out now for Johnson.
Now it kind of gets overshadowed by the fact that Arteaga was picked off on that last play because they could have had runners at first and second. Julian Johnson did a great job there in a 2-2 count. We talked about the walks per 9 figure with Zach Sloan before the game. It was higher than his strikeouts per 9. You know he's going to walk batters, and so you've got to be patient at the plate. And Johnson was right there. With 2 strikes, he battled back and then took the walk.
And there's the roar that we've been talking about. Is if you were to count the 1,100 out there, Dylan, there isn't one right now who isn't clapping for Cleveland Brownlee as he steps in for his first at-bat of the 2021 season, back for another year here in the Pinstripes. And we heard on the local radio stations throughout the course of this week leading up to the game, there's no one in this park, and I mean no one, who's more excited to be here than Cleveland Brownlee.
Maybe his son, Cleveland Jr., who sounded very excited this morning, as he said on a radio appearance today.
Brownlee underneath that one, pops it into shallow right field. Going to be a long run coming in on that one, and the catch made. And first pitch swinging as Brownlee goes down, and that'll do it for the first inning here in London. No score as the Majors and Maple Leafs will go to 2, tied at 0.
Bolton in the game tonight. Dr. Bolton is a chiropractic sports specialist for London Nation. Good for Broncos. Louis, the Cloud, and Stewart.
And we welcome you back to Labatt Memorial Park here. London Majors, Toronto Maple Leafs, no score as we go to the second inning. Owen Boone's pitch count, Dylan, up there as we go to top of 2. He didn't have the best of first innings, mostly because he was going to a lot of full counts.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of want to hover around, 15 to 18 pitches per inning. He was up at 26 in that first inning, so he'll look to limit the number of pitches here in the second as there's a called strike on the outside corner. He got to a lot of full counts. Like you mentioned, he was trying to be a little too fine, and I think if he's able to focus on using his nasty stuff, he'll have more success in this inning.
0-1 from Owen Boone. This one popped up on the infield. It's Jaco out there trying to track this one down, coming over from first base, and a nice play as he calls off his catcher there and makes the grab for the first out.
Great play there by Josh Williams, and great communication from two guys who don't really know each other that well, in Jaco and Williams. So good to see that they were communicating there and they were on the same page. It could have been a collision from two very big guys. They're both very strong people, Jaco and Williams, but they were able to talk it out and figured out who was going to make that play.
Jeff McLeod now for the Toronto Maple Leafs, the lefty stepping in here to face Owen Boone. He's got one out in the top half of the second inning. That first pitch called a strike as Jaco drops it, but still there, 0-1. Boone, a guy that although his pitch count is up there, he's stretched out, and you got to believe he's been working hard to get ready for this game. He can still go. This one down the line, fair ball as it gets into the right field corner. Just going to be one there as McLeod takes no more than 2 steps past first base, and it's going to be a one-out single here for the Maple Leafs.
Great piece of hitting there from Jeff McLeod, who is definitely a guy who can put the bat on the ball. He's a good hitter, and he had some success there on that pitch. He was able to yank it down the right field line. Byron was played well enough that he was not going to allow that ball to get past him, and that capped McLeod with a single. He had a .268 average last season, which is higher than his career average, so we'll see if he can make an impact for these Maple Leafs.
Ready to go here. This one hit on the ground, but foul. Took a hop right past Williams towards fair territory, but that is all it would do. It would stay foul. Now 0-1. Brian Sewell here to try and keep the Maple Leafs rolling in the top half of the second inning. Boone to the plate. That one catches the outer edge right on the corner. And now it's quickly 0-2, just what we want to see from Owen Boone, working quickly and getting ahead in the count.
Absolutely. He's working ahead of these batters, and we'll see if he can put this man away.
Boone, quick check, comes to the plate. Off speed, called strike 3. Another strikeout for Owen Boone. This one looking, and it is 2 gone in the top half of the second.
Great job by Owen Boone coming after Sewell there. And we saw Sewell play in the Legacy Classic against the Majors. Maybe Boone had a game plan from previous appearances against Sewell, but right there he got ahead in the count, and he did not waste any time in putting him away.
Working to the bottom of the order here. Has a man on. That one coming on the McLeod single with 1 gone. Trying to get the Majors back to the bats as quickly as he can. This one hit over. Williams gets in, and he's going to take it himself over to 1 in time. And just like that, the Majors with a much better top half of the second inning. Owen Boone throwing just 10 pitches, I believe, gets the 3 outs, and the Majors back on the bats here in the middle of the second inning.
Yeah, great job there by Owen Boone. We talked about the need for a quick inning, and that's exactly what he got in this second. He worked efficiently, he worked well, he came right after the Maple Leafs batters, and that led to the success that we just saw.
2 hits for the Leafs, 1 for the Majors, who will get on the bats in the bottom of the second inning. Right through the heart of the order, as Cleveland Brownlee was the one who finished off last half. Zach Sloan back out onto the mound here for Toronto, working in his second inning. Another look there at the fans filling in the grandstand here at Labatt Park. It is awfully good to see. Not only good to see everyone here, Dylan, but good to see everyone following restrictions, following the guidelines, keeping themselves socially distant. And I think if I look down the right field line, I'm even seeing some fans out there on the grass berm taking a seat. Not the best view out there, Dylan, but you'll take what you can get when you haven't had baseball in almost 700 days.
Absolutely you will. And like you mentioned, it's a team effort. It really is. It starts with the Majors staff and the Majors ownership group and everybody making sure that these protocols are in place to keep everybody safe, but it's up to the fans to follow them. And they're doing that because they know that the return of sports and baseball being played in front of them in their city depends on them following these protocols, keeping everybody safe, and they're doing a great job so far.
a brisk night, if you will, here at the Forks of the Thames. We didn't really see the sun come out throughout the course of the day, and you didn't want to jinx anything by sending texts back and forth, Dylan, but it didn't look fantastic as the day rolled along. But no rain and baseball getting played here at Labatt Park to start the Intercounty Baseball League season after 2 straight nights of rainouts. Good to see, and now Byron Reichstein gets set to dig in here for the majors.
Yeah, like you mentioned, a bit of a drizzle throughout the day at certain points, but here we are. It's beautiful weather for baseball. A little cooler than you would expect on a July Friday night, but after the hot week that we just had, I'm sure a lot of players will take it.
First pitch, a strike to Byron Reichstein, back for another season here in the majors pinstripes, of course, patrolling the infield in that right corner, where he has been so often. Off-speed pitch fouled back to the screen. It's 0-2.
Reichstein injured his right leg in the playoffs last season in a game between the Majors and the Welland Jackfish here at Labatt Park. It seems like he's back to full strength. He ran pretty quickly to try and track down that fly ball in the first inning.
Swung on, missed. It's a strikeout for Zach Sloan to start the second inning here. 1 gone here as he went, I think, off speed and outside for sure there against Reichstein.
Yeah, it looked like maybe a breaking ball there from Zach Sloan, and those are so tough to hit for left-handed batters coming out of a lefty pitcher's arm slot. And Sloan's coming a little bit 3/4, so it's a different sight for the lefties, and he's definitely tough on them. So we'll see how they fare. Byron, obviously a lefty, as is Josh Williams, and so is Chris McQueen. We'll see what kind of numbers they put up against him.
And now the Majors debut here for Hayden Jaco. He's behind the plate here. And if you read the article in the Free Press, he will also be throwing throughout the course of this season. A London Majors Shohei Ohtani, maybe, Dylan?
We'll see. I mean, he's definitely talented with the bat and his arm.
0-1 here to Jaco. That one going to miss low, 1-1. Sloan working in the bottom of the second inning. Got through the bottom half of the first in relatively quick and easy fashion. Nothing but an infield single to Carlos Arteaga, who later got picked off. That off-speed pitch outside, 1-2.
Got the outside corner there against Jaco, called strike. And it seems the Majors are patient at least the first time through the batting order as they get used to Sloan. For a lot of these guys, they're new to the league. It's their first time seeing him.
And we talked about in the pregame the offense. Don't expect it too early here as that one fouled off and out of play. They're a good offensive team, Dylan, but they haven't played baseball in so long. It might take them even a game or two to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, you know what? With such a compact schedule, it'll only be a couple of games, and I bet by next week the offense is fully rolling. But it's been a really long time since they've seen arms and competitive at-bats.
That one going to miss to the Majors catcher here, batting with 1 gone in the bottom of the second inning. Count 2-2. As the righty gets set to face the 2-2 from the lefty. Here, off-speed pitch, called strike 3. That one looked off the edge of the plate, but getting the call is Sloan, 2 gone.
Yeah, Jaco didn't like that call too much. He thought it was off the plate outside, but the call goes in favor of the pitcher, Zach Sloan. So now 2 quick outs on strikeouts, and it's going to be up to Josh Williams to extend this inning.
Now Josh Williams, the lefty bat for the Majors, that when we saw him come over to the Majors in 2019, didn't have a fantastic start, but he started to find his rhythm, started to put good swings on the ball, and even started to leave the yard by the time the playoffs rolled around. You'd like to see him have that same kind of success here in 2021. First pitch swung on. It's 0-1 here to Williams.
You know, going back to what you were just saying about Josh Williams there, he hadn't played a lot in Evansville, which is where he came from before coming to the Majors, so he needed to find that timing and his rhythm in the IBL.
Swinging right through that off-speed pitch quickly, 0-2 here on the Majors' first baseman.
When we talk about the playoffs, when you look back at playoff stats, and I know it was just 5 games against Welland, Josh Williams is arguably the best Majors hitter, and once he found his timing, he was a potent force.
0-2, this one gets a good swing on it into center field, coming through and rolling to make the grab there in center to end the inning.
Great play there by Lewis in center field, coming in, making a dive and making the grab off of Josh Williams, who hit that ball pretty hard. He's going to make a lot of solid contact for the Majors this season. A 3-up, 3-down inning for Zach Sloan. That is what you want to see if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs.
No hits in the bottom half of the second inning, just one for the Majors through 2 at-bats as we go to the third inning here at Labatt Park. You're watching on Majors TV.
Playing a conference seminar workshop, Fanshawe Conference Service offers their facility with their accommodations making them the ideal choice for individuals, groups, families, and conference delegates located on the Fanshawe Conference. This allows for convenient access to and from Highway 401 and offers direct routes to London's downtown core. Check out this comfortable, affordable, and innovative offering to your next step. London Majors would like to thank their sponsors, M&T Printing, Graduate Real Estate Team, Kitchen Station, Cedar Car Preferred Insurance, Fanshawe College, Engage Promotions, Quebec Brewery, North Star Light, Fanshawe Conference Services, Gotham Studio, Railway City Brewery, Matt, Brothers Against Drunk Driving, Dr. Alex Colton, Chiropractic, Udomo, Great Canadian Massage, Deep Sports, Less Sports and Stress, Morton Foods, Coca-Cola, Noble Design Studio, Canada Bread, Tom Ross, Royal Vegas, Centerville Sports, and Rollins, Canada.
We welcome you back to Labatt Park here. Majors, Maple Leafs tied at no score in the top half of the third inning in baseball. And yes, live baseball back here at the Forks of the Thames and in the Intercounty Baseball League. Good to see you again. And thank you for tuning in wherever you're tuning in. I know I've said that already, 3 times, Dylan? But we can't thank everyone enough for the support they're giving us in this Majors club to see them back on the field. Hit on the ground, third base, picked up. Couple bobbles over to one in time. Williams with the stretch at one to get the out, one gone.
You know, we talked early on when we went over the Majors defense about Keith Candell up the middle and Carlos Artiega, about Josh Williams playing a solid first base. But I mentioned I'm eager to see how Johnson fares over at third. And right there, he was tested for the first time, and he made the play. A little bit of a bobble, but he was able to make a strong throw over to first, and the out was recorded. So a good play over there at third base by Julian Johnson, getting, once again, as I mentioned, one of his first starts over at third base in a very long time, I'm sure.
You'll hear a lot of people talk about the internal clock, right, Dylan, about knowing how fast the runner is going to get down the line there. And I think the first ground ball of the season, it might have been catching Johnson off guard a little bit. He had way more time than he thought as that one's hit in the air, left center field. Coming over, making the grab, and quickly 2 outs here in the top half of the third.
Chris McQueen recording the out over in center field. Now, McQueen, not a natural center fielder, plays mainly shortstop normally, but with the influx of middle infielders that this Majors team has, he's going to be seeing some action in the outfield. And great communication there with Humberto Ruiz going to track down that fly ball. He called him off, made the play. Obviously, center fielder's ball if he wants it, and they did a good job communicating with each other out there in left center field. It's a different animal catching fly balls in the outfield than it is on the infield, and good to see that McQueen is acclimating himself pretty well. I know he played a little bit there before, but he's expected to get a lot of time out in center field this year.
Sean Riley back here, up for his second at-bat of the game as he fouls that one straight back into the screen, 0-1.
Riley seems to be right on these pitches. He had a foul ball in his first at-bat on a 2-0 count right there. He fouls it straight back at the screen. Riley is just missing right now. Once he gets his timing down, if you make a mistake, he's going to hit it a long way.
Owen Boone, 0-1 here on the Maple Leafs slugger in Sean Riley. He comes to the plate now. That one bouncing in front of Jaco, who blocks it now, 1-1.
If you're going to get cute with anybody at the plate, I guess you go with Sean Riley. Make sure you don't miss over the heart of the plate against him because he will make you pay for it. If you're going to bounce some balls, hope to get some swings, I mean, you got to do it against Sean Riley because if you leave something somewhere he can hit it, it's going to go a long way.
1-1. This one hit foul. Out of play down the first base line. If there's a guy in this lineup, Dylan, that you don't mind walking 4 times tonight, I'm sure it's Sean Riley.
Absolutely, and we talked about how Castaldo was hitting right ahead of Sean Riley. He was the Triple Crown winner a few years ago, but Riley can do it with one swing of the bat. If they have to walk him 4 times just to make sure he doesn't deal too much damage to this Majors team, I think they would be open to doing that.
1-2 outs here in the top half of the third. Boone to the plate, swung on and missed. He gets Riley swinging on a fastball. And another punch out for Owen Boone, and he's through 3 scoreless innings here in London.
Great job there from Boone, elevating that fastball on Sean Riley, getting him to swing right under it for the third out. And we're through 2.5 scoreless, and we hyped up the offenses early on, and we haven't really seen it so far, but like we mentioned, it's going to take some time to get back in the swing of things.
It's early, and these guys, you can only hit in the cage so much. You can hit live against your own team so much, but it's a whole other animal getting out there against an Owen Boone or a Zach Sloan and facing them for the first time in so long. But these guys, they'll get the hang of it pretty quick. And third inning, Dylan, I think we'll start to see some offense, some runs come through, maybe in the 4th or the 5th.
I think so. I mean, I think that as the lineups turn over, we just saw Toronto's turnover, we'll start to see maybe some better at-bats from both sides and some at-bats that could lead to some runs scoring. You know what? Keep in mind, in a normal, if there wasn't rain, normally this would have been the third pitcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs starting this game today against the Majors. They've been rained out. They were rained out on Wednesday. They were rained out yesterday. So this is their ace. This is Zach Sloan. He's on the mound. You know that it's going to be a good game between the aces from both sides, and Boone for the Majors and Sloan for the Maple Leafs. So the Majors have to be up to the challenge. It's going to be tough, obviously, having not played in such a long time, and then boom, you got to face the ace of the other team. But we'll see how they do here tonight.
Zach Sloan getting ready to work to the bottom half of the third inning here for London. We mentioned the delayed start to the season. It's affected no one worse than it's affected this Maple Leafs club, who are playing in their first game in what should have been their third.
Hamilton would like a word, eh? They were supposed to play
Hamilton as well, yeah. They
yeah.
have busy starts to the schedule, playing in 3 games in the first 3 days of the IBL season, but both of those clubs getting rained out, of course, on Wednesday, Thursday, and now finally some Friday night baseball. It looks like all teams around the league are getting to go and getting set to play tonight. Of course, over in Brantford, it's the Red Sox home opener. And then shortly down the highway, over in Hamilton as well, another game going on there. 3 games across the IBL tonight. Humberto Ruiz now for the Majors. I mentioned one of those guys, Dylan, that's been picked up, a former Major, back for another season in the Pinstripes.
Yeah, Ruiz is back after having not played since 2017. Played in the Legacy Classic, though, last season.
Oh, and 1 here on Ruiz. Ruiz, McQueen, and then back to the top of the order for London as that one's fouled off into the grandstand. Fans getting out of the way, and a quick souvenir out there for all those London fans who are happy to be back in the seats.
Yeah, that one was hit pretty hard, though. I'm not sure that anybody was going to make that play. It was a bit of a check swing there from Ruiz, but he still made pretty good contact with it, and nobody was quite ready to make that play on the left side.
0-2 here. Sloan to the plate. That one dribbled over to shortstop. Ruiz has got speed. Going to have to come up quick and not in time. And you're going to see that from some of the guys on this team. An infield single there to start the bottom half of the third.
Yeah, R.J. Johnson over there at shortstop was unable to make that play, and you know that he probably felt a little bit rushed with Ruiz's speed. This team has speed at the top and at the bottom of the lineup. It's tough to face if you're an opposing team. And right there, that ball was not hit very hard. It was dribbled over to the shortstop. He came in quickly. Johnson couldn't make a good throw because he was rushed by the speed that Ruiz has, and it results in a base runner for the Majors to start the inning.
Lefty on lefty here on Chris McQueen, who squares around to bunt, pulls back. That one going to miss, and Ruiz safely no throw into second.
That was a ridiculous jump from Humberto Ruiz. He was off so early, had a great read on Zach Sloan, and there was no shot. Even if the ball was caught cleanly by Takamatsu behind the plate, there was no shot that they were getting Humberto at second base.
And just like that, a leadoff runner in scoring position here for the Majors. Trying to tag on a run here as McQueen squares around, pulls back on this one. And it's 2-0 now on the 9-hitter here for London.
We talked about McQueen's ability to bunt in the pregame show, and I think he might want to put that on full display here. It's a good sacrifice situation. It was with Humberto over at first base, and it is again with him over at second. If you can move him up for the top of the order coming up right after, that's awesome.
Interesting to see. I would think all the way, Dylan, this is a bunt situation, but the Maple Leafs infield not really playing McQueen to bunt.
They're in a little bit. The corners are in a little bit, but they're not crazy in. The first baseman over there, Jordan Castaldo, more in than the third baseman, Jonathan Salazzo. And I think that having the runner at second base and, the possibility that McQueen bunts and Sloan has to field his position is rushing him a little bit, and he's struggling out there on the mound. A 3-0 count to McQueen. I think when it got to 2-0, it looked like they were going to let him swing away. He didn't square around to bunt on that pitch and then pull back. He just watched it go by. So I think until he throws him a strike, the bunt is off here for Chris McQueen.
And Chris McQueen as well, local guy, one of the smartest baseball players on the majors. And that's not to discredit anyone else. He knows what to do in every situation. Takes that one on 3-0 for a strike, 3-1. But you know that he's going to do what it takes for this team. He'll play that role. He'll be the guy that sacrifices an out to get the runner to third with 1 out. He'll be that guy, and we'll see what he comes at here with 3-1. Sloan checks once again on Ruiz, who's got himself a fairly decent lead. Now McQueen squares around that one in the dirt. It'll be ball 4. And the Majors have a pair of speedy runners on here with nobody out to start the bottom half of the third inning.
Yeah, like you mentioned, no, they don't just have any runners on base. These two guys can motor around the bases. Humberto over at second base, McQueen over at first. We'll see if they maybe employ a little bit of a double steal here with Keith Candell. Don't be shocked if Keith squares around to bunt, tries to sacrifice, get two guys over with nobody out. Not a bad spot. You're willing to give up an out if it moves two guys over. So we'll see if that's what the Majors elect to do here with speedy guys, a speedy guy at the plate and two fast runners on bases. Roop Chanadek can do just about anything here.
Pitch now, squares around, pulls back on a pitch outside, 1-0 here. As we go back to the top of the lineup in Keith Candell. It's one of my favorite things about this lineup that Roop Chanadek has assembled and then put together for this game is that when you have Ruiz and McQueen at the bottom of the order, it's not a typical 8 and 9 hitter. They're just like leadoff guys, and that's what they've done here in the third inning. They've got on base, and they're looking to score. Candell fouls it off, and that one goes to 1-1.
Now, with the first pitch to Keith Candell, Sloan missed, and that pitch was not a strike either. Candell swung and fouled it off. It's almost like the threat of the bunt puts pressure on that pitcher as well, not just the defense, but he wants to execute a pitch because he knows that if he bunts right here, he's going to have to field his position, and I wonder if that puts something in the mind of Zach Sloan.
Squares around, gets this one down in a perfect spot. Sloan comes up, throwing. It's going to go over his head and down the line into the bullpen. One runs in to score. McQueen's going to get the wave and score easily. And Candell into third with a slide. 2-0 Majors.
The bunt puts pressure on the defense. Listen to this crowd. You could hear it as Noah was going on there, talking about the play, describing the play. The crowd is into it. They're excited to be here. Right there. Beautiful bunt from Keith Candell. Jonathan Salazzo, the third baseman, backed right up, went to the bag, hoping for a potential play. There was no shot. With Ruiz and McQueen on the bases, that speed is not going to allow you to record an out at second or third base. That's the reality of the situation. Sloan had to go to first. He was rushed. He didn't pick up the ball cleanly. It was in his glove for a little bit longer than he would have wanted to. He bobbled it in there. Threw to first, was not a good throw. Got over the first baseman. Candell puts pressure on Sloan. There's so much pressure going on here. It's a word I've used a lot in the past with the past couple of batters, but it's true. Because of that speed, Sloan has to rush because he wants to get one out. He knows Candell is fast. He knows he's not getting it at second and third. And now look at this. The Majors are up 2-0, and they've got a runner at third base, still with nobody out.
Well, and you mentioned pressure. You might have over-mentioned it, but you needed to because you look at the guys that led off this inning. Ruiz, speed. McQueen, speed. Candell, speed. It doesn't stop because now Carlos Arteaga comes to the plate, and there's still a danger of the bunt. 4 straight batters here in the Majors lineup where you have to worry and you have to be quick when you field the ball.
Exactly. It's so much pressure on the defense.
First pitch to Arteaga missing outside. 1-0 here on the London Majors 2-hitter. They've already got 2 runs across here in the third inning. And you can bet they're going to want to tack on a few more here if they can. This one hit on the ground. It'll score a run. Throw over to 1 is in time to get Arteaga, but the job done. And it's 3-0 London.
This inning has really turned into something for the Majors, and it's all because of the throwing error and the speed on the base paths. Right there, Carlos, we talked about his ability to avoid the strikeout. You had a feeling he was going to put it in play. As long as he didn't pop that up, Candell scores because he's a fast runner. And right there, Carlos did his job. He put it on the ground, He put it over to the right side or more towards the middle, which is better, and that's what you would like to do ideally if you're trying to drive in a run with a ground ball. And now it's 3-0 Majors, 1 out, and here's a chance for Julian Johnson.
First pitch there for a strike. You mentioned the 3 runs for London. And Dylan, I don't think we've seen a ball leave the infield here for London in the bottom half of the third. Speed getting the job done. Pitch just inside to Johnson, 1-1.
Yeah, no, I can't think of one. I think the last ball hit to the outfield was the final out of the inning in the previous inning. It's been on the infield, but the defense has to make plays quicker, and the speed is making things happen.
1-1 outside, and you can see Sloan, who was dialed in through the first 2 innings, starting to miss a little bit on the outside portion of the zone. 2-1 here to Johnson, and Brownlee waiting on deck. 1 gone in the bottom half of the third. Majors out to a 3-0 lead. Pitch now, that one just off the plate, couldn't find the zone. It's 3-1. Now he's in danger of walking him in with 1 gone.
Yeah, you don't want to walk another batter if you're Zach Sloan here. It seems he's lost a bit of that command after the error. It's kind of rattled him a little bit. Damon Topley tried to come out and calm him down, but it hasn't seemed like it's worked so far.
3-1 now. That one does catch the zone, and it'll move the count to full.
You know, when I say it didn't seem like it was working out. He did retire Carlos Artiega. He got an out, but it seems like the 3 runs that have been put on, all in the error, have cost Sloan a little bit here.
3-2 now. Comes to the plate, and a big swing and a miss there from Johnson. And now 2 gone here in the bottom of the third inning. We'll bring Cleveland Brownlee to the plate.
You hear the crowd cheer for Cleveland Brownlee there as he steps up to the plate. Going back to that Johnson at-bat, it looked like Sloan took a little something off to retire Johnson there. He wasn't ready for that. We'll see what Cleveland can do. Maybe he sparks a 2-out rally here for the Majors.
Sloan now has himself 2 outs, 3 runs already across here as he comes to the plate. That one inner corner, called a strike on Cleveland Brownlee, who flew out to right in his first at-bat.
Cleveland was very aggressive in that first at-bat, went after the first pitch. This one he takes.
Now the 0-1. That one outside. Brownlee thought about it. He was ready to go, but it's 1-1. Sloan ready and working from the windup here. Cleveland Brownlee back for another season, looking to try and start a 2-out rally as he swings through that off-speed pitch. 1-2.
Sloan seems to have a lot of confidence in those off-speed pitches. He's been using them a lot against this Majors ball club, and right there he gets a swing and a miss from Brownlee. If you look at the pitch by inning comparison, Sloan threw 14 in the first, 12 in the second, now at 22 in the third inning, which is a big jump from the previous 2. Still not terrible because the Majors have been making contact. It's not like it's been long at-bats and then strikeouts maybe or a little squibbler. They've been making contact with these balls, and that's resulted in a higher pitch count.
Outside there on 1-2 to Brownlee. It'll miss, even the count up at a pair of balls and a pair of strikes. And 2 gone. Cleveland Brownlee looking to try and start something here with a pair of outs, and now Sloan to the plate. Fouls that one off on the off-speed pitch. Wasn't the pitch he was looking for, but stays alive.
Sitting fastball there on 2-2, got an off-speed. Nearly hit that in a spot where he would have had to try and run it out on the infield, but that one goes foul.
Slight breeze blowing out to center here at Labatt tonight, as the weather has held off for the most part today. 2-2 now to Brownlee. Hits that one on the ground, but foul. They will stay right on it as it goes down into the Majors bullpen. We'll once again do that 2-2.
Brownlee got a good swing on that ball, hit it hard down the third base line, but foul. The infielders are playing very deep. They know that if the ball's coming to them, it's more than likely going to be hit hard.
Sloan grabs his sign, comes to the plate. That one outside. Brownlee not going to reach for that one. 3-2.
I'm interested to see what Sloan comes with here on the 3-2 pitch. Obviously, Brownlee a big hitter. Does he go with the off-speed that he's shown he has confidence in, or does he come with the fastball? If I'm him, I go off-speed, but if I'm Cleveland, that's got to be in the back of my mind.
Now the 3-2. Brownlee gets the bat on that one, driven into left field. Tracking back to the track, and is that one caught? Oh my goodness, what a catch out in left.
Oh my, what a play out in left field. Holy cow, that is Brian Sewell out there in left. He had to go so far back to the warning track to make that play, and made an awesome play over there on the warning track, diving to make that catch. And that's huge for the Toronto Maple Leafs, because if this inning got extended, you know Sloan is rattled out there on the mound, and that was just going to be bad news for this Toronto team. But a huge play by Sewell out in left field to save a potential base runner.
Brownlee didn't get a whole lot on it, but he had enough to get it out to almost the warning track, but it goes down as a fly out. We go to the fourth inning. Majors tack on 3 there in the bottom of the third and lead 3-0.
We got the top of the fourth for visiting Toronto, the catcher, number 4, Garrett Tagamatsu.
Welcome back to Labatt Park. Garrett Takamatsu will lead things off here for the Maple Leafs, who will come to the bats here, finding themselves trailing by a score of 3-0. The Majors put up 3 runs in the bottom half of the third. Dylan, mostly in part to the speed from the bottom and top of the order.
Absolutely, the defense couldn't make the right plays, and this is a big inning for the Maple Leafs as Takamatsu fouls that one off. I'm interested to see how they bounce back after the defense, caused a lot of those runs to score. It was a throwing error, and then they got Candell to third, and he was able to score. So I want to see how the Maple Leafs rebound here in a tough spot.
Owen Boone back out to the mound with a lead, and we'll see how he responds here. That one missing low, 1-1.
If you recall, in the first inning, it was Takamatsu who hit the fly ball down the right field line that Byron Reichstein was almost able to track down. Couldn't quite get to, though, and he's 1 for 1 on this young season.
1-1 now on Takamatsu. To the plate, Boone. That one squibbed off the end of the bat, but foul. Down the first base line, 1-2 here is Owen Boone. His pitch count was up in the first inning, Dylan. He didn't get through it in super quick form, up over 23, but he's settled down a little bit here, now working in the top half of the fourth inning with his pitch count at 44.
Yeah, Boone threw 26 pitches in that first inning. After that, the second inning he threw 7, and then in the third he threw 8. So Boone has been really good at being more relaxed and coming after hitters more. It's resulted in him throwing far less pitches, and if he can limit the pitch count as he continues on, he had a big first inning. That seems to be negated now that he's thrown 2 very solid, quick innings. Maybe he can pitch pretty deep into this one.
Well, and one thing for a lot of people who've watched Owen Boone pitch over the course of his career, not just with the Majors, they'll talk about how he responds. And not that that first inning was bad. They didn't score any runs, but he had a high pitch count and he battled back. As this one's fouled off out of play, he'll get himself back into a position where he can stay in the game for a long time. And that's something that not a lot of pitchers can do.
Absolutely. He is fantastic at erasing something bad that happened and just moving on and doing his thing. He knows he's got good stuff. He knows that hitters struggle to hit him, and he just needs to do what he does best to have success.
Off speed, drilled and caught over at third base. Nice play by Johnson to make the out, as that one was coming in hot at the hot corner.
Oh yeah, Julian Johnson, of course, like we've mentioned numerous times in the broadcast. First start over at third base, and he's looking good so far. He recorded the ground out, and then right there, he leaps up to make a great play and record the first out of this fourth inning. Johnson can get up there. He's a very tall guy as well, so I'm sure it wasn't too high, but he did get up there with that jump and recorded the first out of the fourth inning.
Boone's got his first out here in the fourth. Now comes with the first pitch strike here, after Takamatsu retired to start the inning. Just 2 hits for the Maple Leafs so far as they work into the 4th. This pitch inside and low, 1-1.
Jonathan Salazzo hit a ground ball right back up the middle that Keith Candell was able to stop from getting into the outfield and recorded the 3rd out of the 1st inning in his first at-bat.
Pitch up high there and taken for a ball, 2-1. Majors with the lead here in the top half of the 4th inning. We welcome you to Labatt Park, the site of this one. Boone ready and comes into the leg kick here. Outside now, 3-1 as he falls behind in the count. Jaco looking to give the sign here. Boone going to agree on the 3-1 decision and come to the plate now. Called a strike, 3-2. He's got himself into a full count once more here against Salazzo.
Hasn't had a full count since that 1st inning. He's been doing pretty well at limiting those after a rough first, pitch count-wise, obviously. Had some good results, but Boone is coming after Salazzo now that he's pitched his way into a hitter's count.
Boone, 3-2 inside. It's going to be ball 4 here. Salazzo will have himself a 1-out walk.
Second walk Boone has issued in the ball game today. The first came to Sean Riley in that 1st inning. And right there, I mean, Boone just wasn't able to get the calls. Fell behind 3-1, had to come back with a strike, and then maybe Salazzo was taken on that 3-1 pitch, but you knew he had to protect down 3-2, made sure he didn't strike out, and Boone didn't want to come after him with a pitch he could hit too easily. Tried to be a little too cute, and that resulted in Salazzo getting aboard.
So now Boone going to have to work from the stretches. He's got a runner on here in the 4th. Leafs trying to respond after giving up 3 in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Swung right through that one. It's 0-1. Big swing from Lewis. Not an overly big lead over at first base for Salazzo. Not a huge threat to run. Enough to give himself some room if the ball were to get through. Jaco blocking that one and able to move the count to 1-1.
Yeah, Salazzo is not going to be a threat to steal bags out there over at first base, but, can still get in the head of Owen Boone if he takes a big enough lead or makes some moves over there.
Boone looks over to 1. Now comes to the plate. This one popped up. Big foul territory as Jaco's going to run it down, but he'll quickly learn that that one's going to go about 4 rows deep and out of play.
Lewis was the batter in the 2nd inning who hit the pop-up that Jaco and Williams nearly collided on to make that play. Almost tested them again on that pop-up into foul territory on the first base side. Jaco couldn't quite run it down.
Majors fans enjoying a 3-0 lead here on a Friday night back at the ballpark. Lewis looking to try and extend the at-bat and extend this inning for the Maple Leafs. Off speed, takes that one outside, thought about chasing it, but left it alone. 2-2. McLeod stands on deck, pardon me. He had himself a hard hit his last time up into right field. He'd love to get a chance with a couple of runners on. Boone trying to stop that. Here's the 2-2. This one hit, but foul out of play. And once again, we'll redo the 2-2 count.
If you're Boone here, you don't want to throw a pitch that could be ball 3, and you don't want to fall behind another batter, go to another full count because it resulted in a walk to Salazzo. You don't want to have 2 guys on for Jeff McLeod on deck. You talked about it, Noah. He rocketed a ball into right field in his first at-bat. You don't want to give him a chance to drive some runners home.
Boone comes and delivers, but it's in the dirt, and now there's that full count we talked about. 3-2 here. Now you have to be a little bit careful not to walk him. I think you got to come right at Lewis here.
Yeah, absolutely. Come right after him. Throw him a pitch that he can hit because you know you got a good defense behind you. The infield has proven itself so far in this game. If it gets hit on the ground, they're going to make the play.
3-2, Boone. This one hit hard right back up the middle into center field. And McQueen going to come up and bring this one in. But now McLeod will have those 2 runners on base here with just 1 gone in the 4th. Is Toronto trying to put some runs across here. We mentioned we were looking for that offense, and here it comes for both the clubs.
You know what? Despite the fact that Lewis did get on base right there with a line drive single, I'm not upset that that's what happened. I'd rather have that than a walk because it shows that Boone is willing to come after guys, which he wasn't doing early on in the ball game. So I'm glad that he is coming after them here. Just didn't make the right pitch in that right situation.
Looking to try and turn two here if they can. McLeod, this one hit shortstop. It's going to be caught, and they'll just take the one out there, as that one was just flubbed off the end of the bat, and a big second out there for Owen Boone.
Good play there by Keith Candell coming in to make that play and record the second out. Boone now at 60 pitches in the ball game. So it's certainly more elevated than you would like in the fourth inning, but we'll see if he's able to get out of it right here.
Owen Boone now with the pair of runners on. 2 gone in the inning. That one just missing outside. 1-0 here. Majors looking to get back on the bats here and maintain that 3-0 lead they just got in the bottom half of the third. Boone to the plate. This one hit on the ground, up the middle. Going to be a tough play. Bobbles it at second, won't have a play. And that's a tough one to come up with. And now the bases will be loaded with 2 out.
Yeah, Candell tried to make that play a little bit too quickly. He knew the quickest out, the easiest out for him was going to be to go to second base and make that play. He came over and past the bag, wasn't quite able to field it cleanly there, and that resulted in the error being charged to him and the bases being loaded. He tried to move from the second base position almost to second base too quickly, and that caused him to bobble that ball, and it allows a runner to get on.
Bases loaded. Leafs trying to push some runs across and get themselves back into this ball game. Boone to the plate, and that one's going to take a funny bounce and work its way all the way over to the fence. Big round at third, but holding, and the Leafs will score their first run on that ball that gets to the backstop.
You know, to me, Noah, that looked like a cross-up. It looked like Jayco went down to try and block an off-speed pitch, and that pitch looked like a fastball from Owen Boone. And we talked about the fact that Jayco was new to the ball club, and Boone doesn't know him super well yet. I think right there it was just a case of getting their signs crossed, and that results in the Maple Leafs scoring their first run.
So the Leafs back within a pair, and those pairs standing on base at second and third here with 2 gone. 1-0 the count here. Boone working from the windup, where he's been more comfortable so far tonight. This one popped up. Williams will have a long way to go to get that one. He's just going to leave it as he'll take a bounce into the Leafs dugout. And now with a 1-1 count. Owen Boone looking to escape the inning here. His pitch count up over 60 now at 64. Still a chance to escape the inning here with the Majors leading by a pair. But he's going to have to come up with some good pitches here and work his way out of the inning. 1-1. This one hit on the hands. Williams is going to be the one to go over and get it. He's going to have to shovel over to Boone. Boone on the bag, makes the out, and the Majors will escape with a 3-1 lead here as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning here at Labatt Memorial Park.
New era baseball cap, lots more. If you're worried because you didn't hit the ATM on the way here, you got an ATM that pays for all of your new swag as well. That's the London Major store just under the main branch. With the Majors, right shot, Jayco, Williams.
Well, we welcome you back to Labatt Memorial Park. Here is the look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Two other games going on in the Intercounty Baseball League tonight. Brantford hosting Welland, and then Barrie in Hamilton. Both those games tied, Dylan 1 at 0-0, and then over in Brantford a 1-1 score. And a good start to the season for the Brantford Red Sox, who didn't have the best of 2019 seasons.
They did not. No, they had a tough time in that 2019 season. It's now 2-1 in the Welland-Brantford game. The score just changed. But the Majors have the biggest lead of the night so far at 3-1.
And they'll look to try and tack on to that here. It's Byron Reichstein now to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. Toronto, of course, tacking on a run in the top half of the fourth. Majors with their three coming in the bottom half of the third. 3-1 the score, and Reichstein looking to try and get anything started here in the fourth. He's going to drive this one into left center field, dropping, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Just what the doctor ordered, and Reichstein's on with the leadoff base hit.
Yeah, right there. Byron kind of got jammed on that pitch and looped it into shallow center field. It was going to be a tough play for Johnston to make, and it was going to be a tough play for Lewis to make, and it just fell in between them. If you're the outfielders, you got to respect the power that Byron Reichstein has. You cannot play shallow against him, and right there, that came back to bite them because he just looped one into shallow center field.
So the Majors will get the leadoff man on once again here, this time in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Reichstein on first base, and now the middle of this Majors order with a chance, squaring around, and that one pulling back for a ball, 1-0.
Hayden Jaco, maybe not the guy you'd expect to square around to bunt, but Roop is a very small ball-oriented manager, and Jaco squared around right there.
He swings through that one. It looked like he wanted to hold up as soon as he saw where it was coming out of the hand, but a big swing. He couldn't pull it back in time. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Jaco didn't want to go after that pitch, but he went too far to pull back, and results in a swing and a miss.
1-1 coming here to the Majors catcher in Hayden Jaco. Off speed just off the plate. Couldn't break enough, and it's 2-1. Majors have the leadoff man on here for a second straight inning. They were able to bring three across in the bottom half of the third. Mostly due to the speed. We'll see if the power bats can do something here. Jaco swings right through that one. A big healthy cut. Now it's 2-2.
Yeah, Sloan has worked Jaco with a lot of off-speed pitches so far, and he's done so with a lot of the Majors. You know, they're good fastball hitters, but when it comes down to the off-speed, they're not quite as good with the bats.
Sloan, big leg kick to the plate. That one going to miss outside, and they'll work the count to full here. Slows pitch count up to 60. 60 pitches in just over 3 innings of work here as he works in the fourth. He ran into some trouble last inning. Aside from that, he's been pretty good as Jaco fouls that one off down the line towards the Majors bullpen.
Good at bat being put together here by Hayden Jaco of the London Majors. And full count here against Sloan is trying to work him hard. We'll see what the Leafs have in their bullpen. Looks like an arm is warming up over there.
Sloan will take a look once more over at Byron Reichstein, who stands at first and comes to the plate. Off speed, called strike 3. And once again, Jaco thought that one was off the plate, and he's the guy who's been back there and will be back there tonight. So you got to imagine he knows where the zone is and where he wants it to be.
Yeah, no, for sure. And if you're Jaco, you better be saying to Chris Walters, if I get that same pitch from my pitcher, I want that call to strike, because it looked like it might have been an inch or so off the plate. But Sloan got the benefit of the doubt, got the call there, and I'm sure that Jaco is going to be searching for that for his pitcher, Owen Boone, once he gets back out on the mound.
And you know, Dylan, I think he's been pretty good so far behind the plate tonight. He's been fairly consistent on both sides. Jaco, I think, a little bit frustrated when he thinks it's off the plate. Of course, like you said, if he gets that pitch, I think he's fine with it. And now that one's going to come inside and hit Williams. Looks like it just caught him, and it's going to put a pair of runners on here.
Yeah, look, a great job by Chris Walters behind the plate, noticing that pitch got him. I might have nicked him in the belt or something, or just off the jersey, but he saw very clearly that Williams did get nicked with that pitch, and that results in two batters getting aboard here with one out.
Humberto Ruiz, who started the Magic last at bat for the majors, I should say, looking to try and push some runs across here. Having a look at the runners, now comes to the plate. This one is going to be hit into left field in a drop. Reistein had to make sure it was going to get down, so he's late getting to third, but everyone will move up 90 feet, and the majors will have the bases loaded with one gone.
Bases loaded in a big spot here for Chris McQueen. Right there, Humberto made solid contact on that pitch, lined it into left field, but Byron Reichstein over at second base just had to make sure that that ball was going to drop and that Brian Sewell out in left field was not going to make that play. He ensured that ball did fall, and he was able to move up to third. Unfortunately for Humberto, he doesn't get an RBI.
So Chris McQueen now the batter. He'll look to try and continue this inning for London. We mentioned he was a part of that inning in the bottom of the third. Now he'll try to do something here, maybe drive a run in. The infield playing in here for the Maple Leafs.
Can't afford to allow another run to score here if you're Toronto.
Inside pitch to McQueen. It's 1-0. They know that although this may be the bottom of the fourth inning, Dylan, they don't want to let this lead swell any higher. They're already trailing by 2. And they know who's on the mound for the majors. Owen Boone has been pitching very well, other than the run being left in the top of the fourth inning. This one fouled off by McQueen. Count goes to 1-1. McQueen ready to go here as he has a look down at Brent Wales at third base to see if anything might be up. I think he's going to get the green light to just swing away here, Dylan.
You'd have to think so with the infield in here in a big spot.
Sloan to the plate, goes off speed. It's inside to McQueen, 2-1. And now Zach Sloan, you got to think he's going to come right at McQueen here. He's been kind of dancing around the zone. McQueen's not going to be a guy that's going to beat you by putting a ball in the gap.
Absolutely not. No, McQueen is going to beat you by making contact and getting base hits here, and he's a very patient hitter as well. Sloan's going to have to throw some strikes.
That one outside, 3-1.
It's a lefty-lefty matchup between Sloan and McQueen. You would think that that would favor Zach Sloan, but it hasn't so far in this at-bat at least, as McQueen walked in his first at-bat, and now Sloan is in danger of walking him here again, but this time he's got the bases loaded.
3-1. Got to come right at Chris McQueen here. Pitch to the plate. That one going to miss inside, and that'll bring home a run here as McQueen draws the walk with an out, and the majors will add on to the lead 4-1, and now we'll get a mound visit as Zach Sloan's night might be coming to an end here. That's an awfully slow walk, Dylan.
Yeah, Damon Topley taking a slow walk out there to the mound. Sloan at 70 pitches, and you got to imagine he's at a pitch count somewhere around there, this being his first start of the season and everything, trying to work him back into it. There's an arm that's been up in the bullpen all inning. We're trying to get who that is. I believe it's possibly Mateos Kakatos out there, but I'm not too sure about that. I can't confirm that. There's a righty warming up in that Toronto bullpen, so we'll see if he comes in here. It looks like Tops is just trying to chat him up and get him to finish this inning strong.
Tops out there to try and calm down his pitcher. I thought originally that he might be looking to make a change, but no such change is going to be coming as continuing on and warming up down there in the bullpen. Like I said, I wish we could give you the information on that, but being an opening day and the quick start to the season that we've had, the Maple Leafs don't have their roster fully, at least up to us.
Yeah.
And we're trying to still figure out who it is, but it looks like it's going to be Sloan coming back and trying to finish this little mess that he's in.
Yeah, it's a tough spot for him. One out, bases still loaded. I think we see Sloan come out of the game if Candel or Arteaga make a big impact here in their at-bats, because you don't want Sloan to face the middle of the order with the bases loaded or runners on base.
If he can get, you got to keep in mind he's still a ground ball away from getting out of this inning.
Absolutely.
If he can get out of it, he's going to go another inning, 2, maybe 3 if he can, because the Maple Leafs are still in this ball game. But like you said, if it gets out of hand, that's what that guy down there in the bullpen's ready for. If we see a ball in the gap, that's what they're for. And now Sloan with a 1-0 count will look to try and stay in this ball game and help this Maple Leafs club. This ball hit, and it's just looped over the infield. That's playing in. One run's going to come in to score. Brent Wales waving home another, and the Majors will tack on a few more here and add on to that lead.
Boy, oh boy, the crowd is into it tonight, Noah, as that's a little looper from Keith Candell into shallow right field. That ball, I believe, gets caught if the infield is playing at normal depth. The infield was in to try and cut off a run at the plate, and that resulted in first baseman Jordan Castaldo not being in his position. If he's playing at normal depth right there, he makes that catch. Grant Tamain could have made that play over at second base if he's in his normal spot, but with the infield being in, that works in the Majors' favor, and Keith has a base hit.
And hindsight 2020, I don't think anyone blaming the Maple Leafs for playing in there. That was the play. Just how baseball works sometimes is a little bloop over the head of the first and second baseman into right field has given the Majors a 6-1 lead here. Throw over is going to find Candell diving back to first.
You know, we talked to Chris McQueen last year in our Majors Quarantine Corner show, and he talked about how him and Keith Candell, Keith asked who would win in a race. He said they're right near each other in speed, but Keith is able to get a better read off of pitchers. We'll see if he goes here.
This one hit on the ground up the middle. Tough play. Steps on two. Over to one in time, and what a defensive play to get the Maple Leafs out of a jam, but not before the Majors can tack on 3 more runs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, and they'll take a 6-1 lead going into the 5th. You're watching London Majors baseball here on Majors TV. Well, we welcome you back to Labatt Memorial Park here as this game goes along now, Dylan, starting the top half of the 5th inning. The Majors offense has been going so far tonight, but it's not with the home runs, it's not with the balls in the gap, it's with the speed, and we're going to see that throughout the course of this season.
Yeah, Roop Chanadette is a guy who loves to utilize that speed that he's got in his order, and we talked about the big bats that the Majors have acquired in the middle of the order. They haven't really played a factor in today's ball game. Josh Williams got on base to start the rally last inning, but it's been the speed that's impacted this game.
The Majors will head to the field now and get ready to try and defend this 6-1 lead as that one's there for a strike. 0-1. Boone again now, off speed. That one called a strike. 0-2 quickly here to start the inning.
Good job by Owen Boone coming right after Grant Tamain over there at the plate.
0-2, this one inside. That one looked like an off-speed pitch that slipped on him. 1-2 here to start the top half of the 5th inning. Leg kick delivery, fouled back. 1-2 here as the night sky draws upon us here in London. And
always such a beautiful sunset here in that park. Noah.
What a gorgeous night it has turned out to be. Of course, the clouds kind of over us all day, but doesn't take away from the night that is here in London, and the Majors and their fans here enjoying a 6-1 lead in the 5th inning. 2-2 here for Owen Boone to start the inning. Comes to the plate. This one hit on the ground. Candell across. Going to have to be quick here. Over to one, and that one's dropping quickly. Picked up there, but Williams probably going to get charged with an error there, and it's going to be a leadoff runner here for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, tough play for Candell to make coming across the bag there after it hit the mound. He was able to scoop it up and made a pretty good throw over to first base. Williams stretched maybe a little bit too early, and that resulted in him dropping that ball there. Could not quite recover in time to record the out.
The Leafs with a 5-run deficit here, looking to try and get themselves back into this ball game. We talked about how this offense can get dialed in and be really destructive as this one's hit into center field. A couple steps, and then coming in one or two, McQueen will make the grab. One gone here as the runner retreats back to first base there and will go nowhere.
Not too difficult of a play there for Chris McQueen out in center field. Was positioned pretty much perfectly to make that play.
So Boone's got his first out. And now Sean Riley will come with a runner on, and this is the spot in the order where you want Sean Riley because he's got a man on. And for Owen Boone, you can walk him, but it's a whole lot less appetizing now that there's a runner on base.
Yeah, for sure. You don't necessarily want to come right after Sean Riley, but you got a big lead. A big swing here doesn't necessarily hurt you. It's still a 3-run game.
Boone now goes off speed. First pitch on Sean Riley. 0-1.
Didn't look like Riley was expecting that pitch from Owen Boone, and it results in a called strike one.
0-1 here on the Maple Leaf slugger. Picked up this year to try and help this offense. You can bet he's going to do that. Got a chance to try and drive in some runs here. That one called a strike, and he doesn't like it. Thought it was up high in the zone.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit high for his liking. Might have also been a little bit inside. Looked like it curved right back over the plate. Good pitch there from Owen Boone. Caught the top of the strike zone, and now he's in a very good spot. If there's an ideal count to be facing Sean Riley, it's 0-2.
Got some room to work here for Owen Boone. Comes off speed. This one hit, and he barehands that one. Not a good look as he throws it to two, gets the out. But if you're the London Majors, you take a deep breath on that one. Oh, my.
Yeah, that one was rocketed right back to Owen Boone, and I think it's just instinct trying to catch that ball.
Absolutely.
He just threw his hand out there.
And we're going to see Roop Janardat come out and check on his hurler. Dylan, it's 100% instinct, right? You know that he's a smart enough guy. He's not going to just throw his hand out there. It works out in his favor, and you're hoping that he got it in the part of the hand where everything's okay.
Yeah, you would hope so. It looked to me like it got him in the fingers, which is less than ideal. But, of course, I'm not at field level. I don't have a great view of that. So you just hope that that for Owen Boone, he's all right. He's throwing some warm-up pitches now with Hayden Jaco. That ball was hit pretty hard, and Boone was able to recover and make a good throw to Carlos. That's a good sign, but at the same time, you do worry for his hand there. Hands, obviously, very important for pitchers.
Especially that throwing one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think if Boone had more time to think about it, he would have gone with the glove. But because it was hit so hard, he just reacted and threw the hand out there. Almost cost him his outing.
And the Majors playing double play depth there might have had a chance to turn it even if he lets it go. But, pitchers, right? They're just going to try and get in the way of anything they can, a lot of them. It's instinct. Now he comes inside on the first pitch. Says, I'm still all right. Back off the plate.
I almost wondered if he lost control of that one. We saw an arm get up in the Majors bullpen briefly there while Boone was getting checked on. I believe it was Braden Farrington. But he is back to just standing around now.
1-0 pitch. That one going to miss as well. 2-0 here. So, although it looks like he's all right when you throw two straight after taking one off the hand, the Majors dugout's still worrying, I'm sure.
And they've missed high. I think he's struggling to get on top of that ball because I think it did catch him in the fingers, and they're hurting him right now, I bet.
Has a look here. Comes outside. 3 straight after that one. And he'll take a little bit of an extended walk around the mound and try to get himself back into this one. The Majors have 2 outs here on the top of the 5th inning. Just a runner on first base for Toronto. And if Owen Boone can work through this inning, he's put himself in a pretty good position through 5. Needs to get that last out, though.
About to throw his 80th pitch of the ball game as well.
Comes to the plate there. That one called a strike. 3-1. Looks like he's found it again here. And the Majors crowd trying to take him through this 5th.
Good to see him find the strike zone there. If he had missed with 4 straight, I would have been more concerned with Boone, but now he's able to throw a strike. We'll see if he can hone it in and get this out.
To the plate, this one fouled off. Into the screen, we'll take a hop back onto the field there, but after going behind 3-0, Owen Boone's able to work himself back to a full count. Leafs trailing by 5 runs here in the top half of the 5th inning. Owen Boone looking to try and set them down here and get the Majors back onto the bats. 3-2, runner off. This one fouled off down the line and will find itself over into the parking lot. We'll have to redo the 3-2.
Look like it came with a fastball here, and Noah, you're a pitcher. Would you double up on that fastball against Takamatsu?
For Owen Boone here, this is a tough situation, right? Because you got to imagine, even if the hand's okay, it's hurting him a little bit. He might not want to go to the off-speed pitch.
That's true, yeah.
Right? So we'll see if he comes with another fastball here on 3-2. Grabs his sign from Jayco, has it, comes to the plate. Another fastball. This one fouled off again. And I think it might just be rinse and repeat here to try and get yourself out of the inning on the fastball.
Absolutely. Maybe he tries to throw it a little bit lower, get the ball on the ground, but that's a great point you made. He has to get on top of those off-speed pitches, and I think the fingers might be hurting him a little bit. He might be hesitant to use those off-speed pitches here. He's come with 2 straight fastballs here to Takamatsu on a full count. I would expect another one.
3-2, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Boone grabs his sign, comes to the plate, off speed on this pitch, hit over to second. Nice play over to 1 in time. Williams with the stretch, Arteaga with the throw, and the Majors escape the top of the 5th inning with the lead still intact, 6-1.
Great play there by Carlos Arteaga over at second base, and that's the benefit of having 2 shortstops playing up the middle, and you can have a third with Chris McQueen, who's playing center field tonight. Any of them could have made that play. Keith could have gone over and made that play. I'm not sure that a natural second baseman could have, but the range that Carlos has, the range that Keith has, and the range that Chris McQueen have will benefit the Majors defensively this season.
Now, Dylan, the Majors, of course, getting the season started tonight here in London. We've seen signings leading up to the game here, but the Majors have another signing to announce here in the ball game. As a returning face will be coming to London once again this season. Corey Hammond making his return in the pinstripes. The Majors happy to announce this one, and this is going to really help this Majors' arms.
Absolutely. Corey Hammond makes his return. He's had a long career in the IBL, 65 games, 45 starts in his career. He last pitched in 2018, where he only threw in 4 games, 2 starts. He dealt with injuries, resulting in him only pitching in 3 games at the beginning of the year and then the last game of the season. So he was out for the majority of that 2018 campaign, looking to find his rhythm again here in 2021. Like I mentioned, 65 career games. He's got a career .433 ERA, 17-12, 291 innings pitched. Really good arm, and he's really going to solidify this Majors pitching staff.
We'll await the word on when he will be joining the Majors and when he'll be back to joining the club. But in the meantime, baseball here at Labatt Park. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Majors enjoying a 6-1 lead so far here against the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've put up 3 runs in the 3rd and 4th innings, and now here in the 5th, they'll look to see if they can add on a few more as well. Back out on the mound there, Zach Sloan for another inning of work here. Maple Leafs, although down 5, not out of this ball game.
With the bats that they have, I mean, they're in it.
They'll see if they can get another inning, I would imagine, out of Sloan.
Yeah, for sure. And we don't know how shorthanded this pitching staff is. It's obviously early in the season. We don't know what the arm situation is for the Maple Leafs. Frankly, we don't know for the Majors either. Johnson swings through that one, so we'll see if they try to get another inning out of Sloan. I would imagine that's what they're going to go for as he comes out here once again for the bottom of the 5th, I should say.
Sloan coming on the 0-1 now. This one hit on the ground to short. Couple hops, bobbled, has to get off quick in time. As a strong throw across the diamond, scored 6-3 and out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, right there. Johnson looked like he might have gotten a little bit jammed. Had some late movement on that pitch from Zach Sloan. Came in on him. Didn't hit it too hard over at shortstop. But it was still a tough play for the shortstop Johnston to make. He bobbled it a little bit. Was able to recover in time and get the out.
And that'll bring Cleveland Brownlee to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th inning. As you hear Eric Collins and this London Majors crowd of 1,100 fans welcome him to the plate for another at-bat.
Cleveland, of course, had a deep fly ball that was caught in left field nicely by Brian Sewell in his last AB.
Sloan to the plate's going to bounce this one. And he knows after what happened last at-bat against Cleveland Brownlee, he's going to have to be careful here, not leave anything over the heart of the plate because Cleveland barely swung on that one, let's be honest, and he was able to get it out to the warning track. That's just the power he still has at this stage in his career.
Looked like he just missed that pitch, and he still managed to get it onto the track.
Now to Brownlee, grounds over to third. Going to be a tough play coming in on it, and over to one in time. And maybe young Cleveland Brownlee might have beat that one out, but not the Cleveland Brownlee of 2021. Out number 2.
Yeah, it was a slowly hit ground ball to Jonathan Salazzo, the third baseman. If you're Salazzo, you know you have time with Cleveland running at this stage in his career, and he was able to make the throw over to first base. It was nearly overthrown to Jordan Castaldo, the first baseman for these Toronto Maple Leafs. But Castaldo was able to reach up, make that play, and it's the second out of this 5th.
Much better start to the 5th inning here for Sloan. 2 gone here as he'll face off against Byron Reichstein and look to try and get the Maple Leafs back onto the bats. Pitch inside there will go off the glove. Takamatsu and back to the backstop. 1-0. Lefty for the Maple Leafs working here in his 5th inning of work. Swung on and missed there by Byron as he will even the count up at 1-1. No help in the bullpen for Toronto. He might just be ready and waiting. Swung on and missed by Byron once again, 1-2.
Yeah, Byron has a hit in the ballgame tonight on a little looper into center field, but he's had a little bit of a tough time swinging at these Sloan pitches. Seems to be a little, he seems to be missing his timing a little bit and not quite ready for the off speed from the lefty.
Comes to him there and misses outside, 2-2. Leafs 1 run on 3 hits, 1 error in the ball game for the Majors. 6 runs, 6 hits, and a pair of errors. As we work here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Friday night at Labatt Park. 2-2 going to miss in the dirt now. Full count to the London Majors right fielder. Sloan ready once again. Grabs his sign, now comes to the plate off speed. Called strike 3. And Byron Reichstein down on strike. Sloan gets through another inning of work. And we are through 5 complete here at Labatt Park. Majors holding on to that 6-1 lead. You're watching London Majors baseball here on Majors TV. welcome you back here into Labatt Park as the Majors enjoying a 6-1 lead here over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Noah Smith, Dylan Baker calling the action for you. Another season of London Majors baseball. Owen Boone back out on the mound here for the Majors. He's through 5 innings so far, working in the top half of the 6th inning. And Dylan, I think he's settled down. It'll be interesting. We saw that ball go off his hand last inning. It will be interesting to see how he does here in the top half of the 6th.
Yeah, I'm curious to watch it play out. I mean, he's elevated in his pitch count, sitting at 85 pitches so far in this ball game, and I'm sure that there is action that's available in the Majors bullpen if need be.
Hard hit over. Nice play. Throw to one. That one going to miss wide. And I don't know if they would have had him had it been on, but a great effort nonetheless getting over there.
A great play there by Carlos Artiega, making sure that ball didn't go into right field, giving himself a shot to record the out, but could not make the play there as the throw got away from Josh Williams. We'll see what the scoring is. I would imagine that's going to be scored a hit for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we're getting word now that it is a hit for Jonathan Salazzo. Tough play for Carlos to make.
Able to get over there, get the ball, get the throw off, and it wasn't off by much, just down the line a little bit. Enough that Williams had to come off the bag and couldn't make the catch. And leadoff base running here for Toronto in the top half of the 6th inning. Pitch outside now. Boone going to fall behind 1-0. Boone will have a quick look over at the runner. Not an overly big lead, only a couple steps off first. That pitch on the outer edge of the zone called a strike, evens the count up at 1-1. Boone up to 88 pitches now, and early in the season, you don't know how long the leash is for Owen Boone. Now the 1-1. Swung on and missed, able to swing right through that curveball. 1-2.
Boone seems to have good stuff here, although he is in the 6th inning and having thrown 89 pitches already in this ball game. I would imagine he's got a pretty long leash if he's still going. I would think a pitch count or pitch limit for him would have been around, 80 pitches, 75 pitches, but he's still throwing, still going strong as Braden Farrington now gets up in that bullpen.
1-2 here, nobody out. Top half of the 6th inning. This one hit in the air left field, down the line, and this one just going to drop foul. Not by much, but just goes down as a long strike.
Yeah, it was a close play there, almost landed fair. It was going to be tough for Humberto Ruiz to get there, and it did drop into foul territory, so Lewis will have to come back and try again against Boone. Made pretty solid contact, though, sent it a long way down the left field line.
So they'll have to redo the 1-2 pitch here. Owen Boone looking to try and get his first out in the top of the 6th inning. Pitch is up over 90 now. And like you mentioned, Farrington throwing in the Majors bullpen. You got to imagine that Owen Boone, if he can get through the 6th, that might be it, depending on where the pitch count's at. Off speed. Hit in the air, left center. McQueen tracking it from center field. He'll get over there and make the grab for the first out.
There was a bit of concern that McQueen might not have been able to get there in time, but that ball kept hanging up off the bat of Lewis, and I was wondering maybe if it was going to drop in, but it stayed up there, and plenty of time for the speedy McQueen to get over there and make that play.
Something we'll see for the Majors this summer is the speed in the outfield, specifically McQueen out in center. He can cover a lot of distance, so there's going to be some balls that you're used to seeing drop in the gaps and in front of him that he'll be able to track down, despite not being an everyday outfielder. Called strike 0-1.
Yeah, going back to McQueen, he's got so much speed, whether he's playing at shortstop, second base, or center field. He's going to make a lot of plays for you, and it's a great asset to have if you're the Majors.
0-1, checks on one, comes to the plate. That one outer edge called a strike, now 0-2. Owen Boone showing no signs of slowing down here in the 6th. 1 out, 0-2 count on Jeff McLeod. Now looks and comes to the plate. This one fought off over to first. Williams will scoop it up and take it himself. And they'll take the force out at first. Runner moves up to second, but 2 gone here in the top half of the 6th.
Good play there by Williams. It's tougher than it looks because he fielded that right behind the lip of the grass. And if that ball takes a funny hop, all of a sudden it's a completely different situation. He did a good job of not rushing that. Understood that he was not going to get Salazzo over at second base. Made the play cleanly and then just touched first. Got the second out of the inning. And now Boone has a runner at second base in scoring position, but he's got 2 outs and he's up by 5 runs.
Certainly has some room to play with here, does Owen Boone, with that 5-run lead. Although here in the Intercounty Baseball League, and Majors fans know well, no lead is safe. Still lots of baseball to go tonight as that one swung through. 0-1. Majors have pushed across 6 runs on just 6 hits. Taking advantage of some good base running to give themselves this 6-1 lead. 0-1 again. This one called a strike. 0-2.
Boone can strike out Sewell here. That's huge. Goes out with a bang in what's likely to be his final inning.
He's got an 0-2 count on Sewell here, and he'll look to try and find that third strike. He's got some options to go to here on 2 outs. To the plate, that one just outside. Didn't get him to reach, didn't get him to swing, and it's 1-2.
You can afford to throw a bad pitch or two here to Brian Sewell, as he's got 2 strikes on him already. He's got 2 outs in the inning. If you're Owen Boone, I mean, you can come right after him. He is the 8-hitter after all, but if you're going to throw a couple waste pitches, that's all right too in this spot.
Has a look, comes to the plate. This one fouled off out of play. So they'll do it again as Sewell able to get a piece of that one. Dylan, we had some thoughts last inning when Boone took the pitch off the hand that he might not go back to that curveball. He's gone back to it a few times, though, here in this at-bat against Sewell. And I think on 1-2, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again here.
Yeah, absolutely. I would expect to see the curveball here from Owen Boone. He seems like he's all right, and he's able to throw it.
1-2 here. Boone into the delivery. That one up high. Went with the fastball and missed by quite a bit up in the zone. It's 2-2. 6-1 Majors leading here as the night moves along at Labatt Park. Good to have you with us wherever you're watching. Is Owen Boone up at 99 pitches now. This one will put him at the century mark. The 2-2 delivery. Boone to the plate. Swung on, and that one fouled. Thought he might have got him there, but he'll have to do it again.
Yeah, just got a piece there, did Sewell, and it landed right at home plate. It's a foul ball, and he'll have to try again on a 2-2 count, now at 100 pitches in the ball game.
The warming up has stopped a little bit in the Majors bullpen, but Dylan, I got to think in the opening day of the ball game, 100's all he's going to throw if he gets through this inning.
Absolutely, I would completely agree with you.
2-2. Boone checks on the runner at 2. Now comes to the plate. Off speed, no, fastball up high. Full count, as it looked like that one was just overthrown a little bit.
You got to wonder if maybe Farrington's ready out there or nearly ready in the bullpen to come in if need be. I think this is Boone's inning to lose, but it could also be his last batter. Maybe Roop gives him one more with a 9-hitter on deck, but I don't think Boone sees the top of the order again in this ball game.
Now he's got another 3-2 pitch. This one hit on the ground, but foul over towards third base. And just fighting to stay alive at the plate there, Sewell.
It's a good at-bat here for Sewell, especially late in the game. He might get a good pitch to hit because there's no doubt that Boone is tired at 102 pitches now in the ball game. So if he could leave something right over the heart of the plate that Sewell could drive into the gap and maybe drive home the runner at second.
Every batter in this lineup dangerous if you give him a pitch to hit. The 3-2 now, fouled straight back. What a fight at the plate there by Sewell as he stays alive still. 3-2.
9-pitch at-bat here for Brian Sewell against Owen Boone, and if you want a time for a 9-pitch at-bat, it's when the opposing pitcher is up at 103 pitches. Just making him work out there, hoping he leaves something over the heart of the plate.
Boone going to step off now here and try and get back on the same page as his new catcher and Hayden Jaco. And they need to try and get themselves through this inning. Owen Boone, of course, working here well over 100 pitches now, trying to get the final out here in the top half of the 6th inning. He comes with the 3-2 again. This one hit on the ground. Back up the middle. Candell across. Has to come up with a strong throw in the dirt. Picked by Williams.
and he'll make the final out over at first base. The Majors and Owen Boone will be able to get through the top half of the 6th inning. Fantastic job by Boone. If that's all they have for him tonight, a fantastic performance on opening night.
Absolutely great performance there for Owen Boone in this ball game. No better way to start off the season than with 6 innings allowing 1 run. I would doubt that Boone comes back out for the next inning, especially with Farrington warming out in the bullpen there. I think Farrington will get the 7th inning to himself, but a phenomenal first outing for Owen Boone in this ball game. The run that he allowed was unearned as well, as it came off of an error. So not an earned run in today's game, only the 1 run. Boone is vintage Owen Boone tonight, and he looked really, really good in his first start, as it looks like the Maple Leafs have a new arm out there.
Maple Leafs will go to the bullpen. It's a righty, and it's going to be Gillis coming into the ball game here for Toronto as they go to the bullpen. Hey, Dylan, let's look down the right field line at the Bushes. You think we're going to see the Bushmen from Toronto out there tonight? You think they made the trip?
I don't know if they made the trip today. I don't see anybody out there, but that's a great spot to park them if they ever do make the trek down to London. There's some great bushes out there.
They've been telling us they're going to make the trip, whether it was a couple of years ago or this year, and I know they were watching at least earlier on tonight, and our good friends the Bushmen over in Toronto.
I hope they come down. They're fun.
One of the greatest fan groups, I think, in the IBL, if not the greatest. I'll give them that
Absolutely.
title.
Absolutely.
I'll give them that title.
Oh, yeah, you have to. I mean, they're chirping opposing players constantly, and you know what? There are bushes at Christie Pitts in Toronto. Well, we've got bushes here, so they're more than welcome. They're more than welcome. We have
the bushes here at Labatt Park that you can come hang out in. It's encouraged at this point, I think. Majors broadcast crew welcomes the Bushmen. Put it up on the front page of the paper.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'd love to hear the Bushmen. I mean, maybe we'll be able to hear some of the chirps, although Labatt Park can get pretty loud at times, especially if they expand capacity limits. But yes, it would be awesome to see the Bushmen here at Labatt Park at some point.
Back to the game here at Labatt Park as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. As we mentioned before, talking about our good friends, the Bushmen there, the Maple Leafs switching up the arms here. Gillis coming into the game here for Toronto, the right-hander. And he'll get set to face this London Majors lineup, who has a 5-run lead, 6-1. Aiden Jaco will lead things off here.
Great chance here for Jaco to pad the lead for the London Majors. Maybe get something going and let the offense do some work.
Jaco, although he had a couple looks against the lefty and Sloan earlier on, maybe it'll just take a change of scenery here to get his bat going as he swings at this one, hits it down the right field line. Going to be a long run. He's not going to get there. Jaco's going to see this one drop, and his first hit as a Major will come here to lead off the bottom half of the 6th inning.
Good for Hayden Jaco getting that first hit out of the way in the opening game of the season. Just hit a fly ball down the line, and McLeod was shading him over towards right center, was unable to get there down the line. And it results in a base hit for Hayden Jaco, his first of the year.
So Josh Williams will come in, and after facing the lefty to start the game, he'll get a chance against the right-hand hurler for Toronto with a runner on, nobody out to start the bottom half of the 6th inning. Williams, if he gets a pitch over the plate against the righty, has been known to show off the power. First pitch called a strike on the outer portion of the zone. 0-1 here against the London Majors first baseman.
Williams 0 for 1 in the ball game. Lined out in his first at bat. Hit that one hard, and then he got hit by a pitch his last time.
Off the plate there. 1-1.
Close pitch. You may have heard Chris Walters call a ball there. Looked like it was just outside.
Williams just got nicked the last time. You mentioned the hit by pitch. Barely hit him, but enough to get him on base. And the Majors would love to see him get on base again here as he swings through that off-speed pitch, 1-2.
If you were to have asked me last time Williams came up, if I thought he got hit without a call from the umpire, I would have said no. I thought it was just inside and he got out of the way. But Chris Walters down there has a much better view than I do.
Yeah, that's why they don't call the games from up here, I think. 1-2. Josh Williams looking to try and extend the inning here for the Majors, try and put some more runners on base. Leadoff man is on. 1-2, going to miss low and outside, 2-2.
Right there, Gillis looked like he was trying to go with another off-speed pitch to Williams after he swung right through what looked to be maybe a curveball or a slider on that previous pitch there. Was not fooled by what was maybe a changeup to make it 2-2.
Gillis ready to come here on the 2-2. This one inside, looked like the off-speed pitch again. Williams getting his legs out of the way. Full count here against Josh Williams.
Big pitch here for Gillis. I know it's early in his outing, but 2 guys on is definitely something you don't want to have coming right out of the bullpen with nobody out especially. We'll see if he's able to retire Williams.
Jaco has a look, and now Williams drives one into right center field, and this one is going to go. Josh Williams leaves the yard, first homer of the season, and the Majors will add on to their lead.
You hear the crowd going wild here at Labatt Park. Josh Williams launched that ball into right field, plays into the crowd. They're pumped to see it. Williams was very excited to hit that home run. He gave a little bat flip, and you know what? These guys really do feed off of a crowd, and it's so huge to have 1,100 people back at the ballpark. Williams sent that ball into orbit into right field, and now the Majors lead is just extended to 8-1.
Dylan, we talked about not only that at bat, the ones prior. If you leave a pitch over the plate for Josh Williams, he's the kind of guy that can do damage, and he did there. 8-1. The Majors extend their lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch upstairs, 1-0 here. Not the entrance to the ballgame Gillis was looking for.
It's a tough spot. I mean, 1 through 9, these Majors can hit. They can get on base. They can hit for power. Josh Williams is batting 7th at the ball game today, and he just sent a ball almost to the scoreboard. So this team can hit, and it's a tough spot.
Down the line into left field, rounding first, and he's going to hold there as another hit here will put a runner on first base. The Majors' bats really going here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Humberto Ruiz hit that one hard down the third base line, and it got past Jonathan Salazzo, but luckily Brian Sewell played it perfectly and was able to make that play, holding Ruiz to a single. Catelli wanted to move up to second base on that play, was unable to do so. It results in just a base hit for him.
We'll see a visit to the mound here with the Majors already 2 runs across in the bottom of the 6th inning and a base hit to put a runner on. Nobody warming up in the bullpen, Dylan. This is just going to be a, hey kid, let's go. Calm down, figure it out. I mean, these are good hitters. Not going to be able to get away with those pitches over the zone, and we don't have a whole lot on Gillis. You got to imagine he's new to the league, and he'll figure it out as he goes along.
Absolutely, he will, and you know what? It's his first outing of the season, and it's a tough spot against a really good hitting team. The Majors have a phenomenal offense, and Gillis just has to focus, refocus, and use his stuff. He's in the league for a reason, right? Like, all these guys are here for a reason. They've got the stuff, and if he's able to find it, I'm sure he'll have success. But so far, he's struggled.
I think this is a good part of the lineup for him to try and find his stuff. This isn't the part of the lineup where guys are going to leave the yard now. You're at the bottom of the order going into the top. Pitch to ground balls. Try to get those ground balls. Hopefully your defense can come up and gun out some of these speedy guys. Gillis now throws outside. 1-0 here on Chris McQueen.
Again, that speed is disrupting the man on the mound, as you saw right there. Gillis slide-stepped, it looked like, and he threw a pitch way outside to McQueen with Ruiz at first. Looked like he maybe wanted to go, saw the slide step, and held off.
Pitch was an off-speed one in the dirt there, 2-0. And I don't know if he's just trying to be careful here against Chris McQueen or trying to stay away from the zone, make sure he's not going to find any hard-hit bats, but he's got to come right at these guys, especially the bottom top of the order.
I think you got to come right after McQueen, just like you mentioned, Noah. Fastballs in the strike zone, let him hit it.
Outside there now, 3-0. McQueen now way ahead in the count, and not going to say he has the green light, but I got to imagine he's ready to swing.
He puts one down the line, and Humberto can score from first.
Inside, and McQueen will walk again tonight. This one on 4 pitches and put runners at first and second. Nobody out here as we will flip the lineup over back to the top.
And again, it's the same case with Keith Candell, who's coming up to lead off. He's not going to hit the ball out of the ballpark like Williams, Brownlee, Johnson, Jaco, Reichstein can. So you just got to come right after him. I know that there's speed on the base path and speed at the plate that could result in, you know, some tougher plays to be made with having to rush on the infield, but you got to trust your defense. Come right after these guys. They're not going to do too much damage, but if you let them get moving on the base pass, then there's trouble.
Leafs have a couple guys down in the pen now, ready at least getting stretched out and ready to go. But right now it's Gillis who has to work his way through this jam that he's got himself into. Behind 1-0 here on Candell. This one inside called a strike. Now he's even the count up at a ball and a strike.
Candell struck out looking in the first inning and then singled on a bunt that scored a couple of runs and singled on a pop fly his last time up.
Comes inside again there on Candell, 2-1. Likely won't see any runners in motion here for the majors. Especially with nobody out there, not going to try to run into any outs, but watch for that speed if a ball is put in play here. The 2-1 now, Gillis to Candell. That one outer portion of the zone called a strike, even at 2-2.
It's good to see Gillis is finding the strike zone here against Candell. It's what he needs to do. Come right after him and hope your defense can make the plays. I mean, he's got nothing to lose. The Maple Leafs are already down 7 runs.
Has a look this one outside. Looked like he went to the off-speed pitch and bounced it. Eight 8-1 Majors lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 more runs already across here in the bottom of the 6th. Couple more runs out there. This one inside Colt, strike 3. And Candell set down on strikes. That one just on the inner portion of the zone.
Candell struck out twice now in the ballgame. Both of them have been looking, and both of them have been calls he disagreed with. One in the first, one just now here in the bottom of the 6th. So you just got to forget it. He might get another at-bat in this ballgame. He might not. The team's up by 7 runs. So despite the fact that he strikes out there, it doesn't do too much harm to the team.
Carlos Arteaga now batting once again here for the Majors. He's got a pair of runs on. Ruiz and McQueen both can run if a ball finds its way to the outfield and look for one to score. That one's inside 1-0. If you can find it down the lines or into the gaps, look for McQueen to find his way possibly around third and on the way to home as well. Arteaga, although not a power bat, can certainly find a gap. Swings right through that one, 1-1.
Carlos nearly had double-digit doubles, I believe, last season. So if he finds a gap, he can put it there and get an extra base hit, maybe score a couple of runners here.
Gillis now off speed, going to bounce. Just over the plate there, 2-1. 9 hits for London so far in the ball game. The Maple Leafs on the other side of things, just 4. Although they've only been able to push 1 run across. That one came on a wild pitch. Swung through, 2-2 now.
Arteaga, if you couldn't tell, was sitting fastball on that pitch very early on the off speed. Wasn't quite ready for that. 2-2, this is where Arteaga does his work. He battles on 2 strike counts. We'll see how he does here.
Looking to try and protect, keep things alive, maybe even put a ball in play here on a 2-2 count. Pitch, this one hit down the line, foul. Arteaga stays alive. 1 gone here, 6th inning. Two, Gillis looking to try and find himself an out here. This one slips inside on the off-speed pitch. 3-2 now. One gone. 3-2 count once again here, and the Majors pressing again in the 6th. This one popped up back to the screen, and I think Takamatsu saw it right away, Dylan, but it did get up into the screen.
Did, yeah. I think Takamatsu was a little slow to react to that ball. We saw Gillis running in to try and make that catch on the pop fly, but was unable to do so as it hit the screen.
As a catcher, if you haven't played at Labatt a whole lot, you're not really aware of how big the foul territory is behind home plate because of the way the grandstand is shaped. It kind of goes out in the corners. There's a lot of room there. A lot of foul balls that can be caught that you might not in other ballparks. 3-2. outer portion of the zone, and they'll appeal down to first. He didn't go around, and it's going to be a walk to load the bases here with an out.
Good patience there from Carlos. He almost went around, but he knew he didn't swing on that pitch. They got the appeal, confirmed that fact, and he's aboard now. Bases loaded, and this is, the part of the order you want the bases to be loaded for. Julian Johnson, Cleveland Brownlee, Byron Reichstein, Hayden Jaco, Josh Williams. This is the spot for the bases to be juiced. We'll see if the Majors can capitalize and extend their already large lead.
Well, this is once again, Dylan, where you look in the sixth inning, the Majors and the Maple Leafs, I should say, still have 3 more at bats here. So the Majors, I don't think are going to sit happy with a 7-run lead. They'd love to push at least a couple more across here in the sixth. Johnson will take that pitch low, 1-0.
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea to get some insurance because, we've talked about it all throughout the game, and although they haven't had great success in today's ball game, this Maple Leafs team can hit. They've got 2 Triple Crown winners on the squad, so no lead is safe.
Pitch missing low, 2-0.
Gillis has thrown 27 pitches here through third of an inning. 28 pitches now through 1/3 of an inning, and that's not an ideal spot to be.
Leafs look like they have someone ready down in the pen, but you can imagine they're going to try and get through what they can. As now Johnson drives that one to left, tracing back, not going to get it. 1 run's going to come in to score. Getting the wave around third is McQueen, and into second base with an RBI double is Johnson. And the Majors, they put up double digits here. It's 10-1.
Right there, I wondered for a second if that ball was maybe going to go out for Julian Johnson. It didn't quite have enough there, and it results in a double. It didn't look like Sewell took a great route to that ball. Maybe he struggled to find it in the lights in the night sky. That's possibly what happened there, but didn't track it very well. And Johnson, obviously, a lot of power in that bat, got it down for a double.
So now Cleveland Brownlee will get a chance here with runners on second and third. Just 1 out here still in the 6th inning. And now Gillis will have to face the big man in Cleveland Brownlee. 4 runs already across here in the inning, and damage control mode now for the Maple Leafs.
Absolutely, they're going to try and limit what they can here. 2 guys in scoring position with less than 2 outs for Cleveland Brownlee.
Big swing there by Brownlee. That one fouled off. It's 0-1.
Cleveland, not a guy who necessarily needs to pad his resume by any means, but he'll be aggressive here with 2 guys in scoring position in this spot.
Getting going down in the bullpen, another arm here for the Maple Leafs. You got to imagine Gillis is not only running out of gas, but running out of ideas here. Where can he go as Brownlee hits this one on the ground to third? Big hop over there. He's got time. Big throw over to one. Will come off the bag and get all the way over to the dugout. 1 run in to score, and they're going to hold the runner at third. As an unfortunate hop over at third base, and then still trying to gun out Cleveland Brownlee will result in another run across here for London.
Yeah, not a great play there over at third base by Salazzo. It took a funky hop on him, and it came and hit him up in the chest. So tough play for him right off the bat. And he bobbled it over at third base. Then he made a poor throw over to Castaldo. That's the second ball that we've seen get past Castaldo on a bad throw from the third base bag, or from the infield, I should say. It's being scored a single, we're told now, for Cleveland Brownlee. So he gets an infield single.
And that will be the night for Cleveland Brownlee, as Robert Doyle, I believe, is going to get into the ball game as a pinch runner, and Cleveland will exit to the joyous crowd here at Labatt Park.
Cleveland gets a base hit on opening day as that one scored a single, and now Doyle comes on to pinch run over at first.
10-1 the Majors lead. And now Reichstein will have a chance to bat here against Gillis, who still has runners on the corners. 1 gone in the bottom of the 6th inning, where the Majors have pushed across 4. Big swing and a miss there. This one gets back to the backstop. And now another run will come in here for the Majors to add on to that lead. Majors leading by a score of 12-1 now. That one missing outside 1-0. Pitch to the plate. Reichstein on the ground. It's going to hit off the bag. Grabbing it, going to one in time. So a good recovery over there at first base to get the out. And now 2 gone here in this extended bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, tough play there for Jordan Castaldo as the ball was hit on the ground. It looked like a routine ground ball that Castaldo was easily going to be able to field and make the play. It hit the base, though, and he had to adapt and overcome, and that's exactly what he did. He was not rattled by that ground ball that hit the bag, made the play, and recorded the out at first base.
Now Hayden Jaco will bat again here in this bottom of the 6th inning. The Majors have extended this lead. Gillis, damage control, trying to just get the Maple Leafs back into the dugout.
We're being told now that it was scored a pass ball on the catcher there, Garrett Takamatsu, that allowed a run to score.
Ball that got to the backstop and added another run here for the Majors in this inning. Gillis ready to go once again here. Comes to the plate, that one missing inside. And the count moves to 2-0. 3-0, pardon me.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Noah, Hayden Jaco led off this inning. Majors have batted around, and they've put up a 6th spot here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Pitch to the plate, that one called a strike. 3-1 now.
Home plate umpires hearing it from the crowd at this point in the ball game. Fans thought that was a ball.
Majors 12 runs on 12 hits. Half of those coming here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Now that one spins inside, and Jaco will take the walk and head over 90 feet to first base, and I think that will do it for Cameron Gillis on the mound.
Looks like it as Damon Toppoli takes the slow walk to the mound, and Gillis kind of puts his head up, takes a deep breath, and gets ready to come out of this ball game. Definitely a rough outing for him, allowing 6 runs in this inning, and they don't want him facing Josh Williams again because we all remember what happened the last time he did. So maybe not, though, as Tops taking the ball from him, and now Gillis works his way off the mound. We'll look to get you the new pitcher very shortly, as that's going to be the end of the night for Gillis.
Well, he came in to start the bottom of the 6th inning, and he did not start out great and just kind of continued on from there. They tried to let him get through and get 3 outs here, but he was unable to get that in his first outing of the season. Just running into this Majors team that, as we're seeing, like a lot of teams in the league, right? This is a good hitting league. If you leave it over the plate, guys are going to get on base. If you make mistakes, guys are going to take advantage of it here. And they've done that so far in this ball game. 12 runs for the London Majors.
Absolutely they have. We've talked about the offensive potency of this Majors team. We've talked about how the league is a good hitting league. Just some mistakes on the mound from Maple Leafs arms, and it's resulted in a lot of runs being scored for the London Majors tonight. And right there, I mean, Gillis came in to start the 6th, and he's not going to get to finish the 6th. He threw 2/3 of an inning, allowed 6 runs. All of them were earned, walked 3, struck out only 1. So not a great outing for Gillis there. Ended up facing 10 batters in the inning. I'm sure he'll bounce back, and he'll look to have a better outing next time. But definitely a good outing, or good inning, for the London Majors as they continue to pad their lead.
Looking good for the Majors here in the bottom of the 6th inning as the night moves along here at Labatt Park in London. Once again, welcome if you are watching wherever you are watching here to our YouTube stream, Majors TV. Majors leading 12-1 here against the Toronto Maple Leafs on opening night here of the 2021 IBL season. 2 other games going on here in the Intercounty Baseball League. We are just one of them, and the Majors enjoying a nice 11-run lead.
It's quite the cushion in your first game, Noah. 11 runs, my goodness.
Certainly one that the Majors love looking up at the scoreboard at, but now if you're London, you're saying, give me the ball, let me get through these final 3 innings on the hill on defense, and we can move on to game 2 of the season. And now Josh Williams will come to the plate here, and then we'll flash it back to, earlier this inning. And Josh Williams, the home run that started this big inning for London. Now he's going to fight this one off. Down the line, it'll go foul. Quickly 0-1.
Now Williams crushed the ball earlier on in this inning and was able to do some damage that got this thing rolling. I mean, as soon as he hit that ball, the Majors started hitting as well. The rest of the team did, and so Williams, although Jaco got on to start this inning, Williams' home run was the big blow that got everybody going, got the juices flowing in the ballpark with the fans and the players.
A good show for the 1100 here as Williams takes that one low, 1-1. If you're the London Majors, if you're the Majors organization, the guys wearing the pinstripes tonight, Dylan, I think you're happy with how this one's gone so far. A nice welcome back to sporting here in the Forest City.
Absolutely. Great game for the Majors.
This one in the dirt, able to keep it somewhat in front of him there. Nakamatsu, and now the runner advancing to second. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. As the Majors looking to try and maybe throw a couple more across here. The Leafs just trying to get back in and get some swings. I wish we had the stats on how long this inning has been, but the Leafs have been out there for what seems like about half an hour now, trying to stop this Majors offense.
It's been a very long inning for the Maple Leafs arms out there on the mound. We'll see if they are able to, if the bats are able to rebound and make it somewhat closer. I mean, they've got a great offense. We'll see what they can do, but it's definitely a tough deficit to overcome.
Big swing there by Williams, 2-2. We thought that it was going to be the end of the night for Owen Boone, and if it is, I think it definitely is now, Dylan, having sat down for this long. We'll see the Majors bullpen when we come back, as that one will miss 3-2.
You know, I think it was going to be the end for Owen Boone no matter what. But now that, like you mentioned, he's been sitting for a long time. I think it's Farrington's inning and possibly Farrington's game the rest of the way. He's got 3 innings to work.
Williams a walk there as they wanted nothing to do with him after that ball launched over the fence to start this inning. As he'll take his way over to first base. Base is loaded. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning.
We know that there's a new arm out there on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're working to get you who that arm is. We're not sure as of right now. But the Majors continue to, pass the baton. Williams with a walk there. Base is now loaded. And big spot for Humberto Ruiz to try and pad this already big lead.
Hit on the ground is short. 1 hop, throws it over to 2 in time, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Majors able to tack on 6 more runs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They'll strand 3, but they will lead this one 12-1 as we go to the 7th inning. More baseball coming here from the Forks of the Thames. You're watching London Majors baseball on.
More than $5 million in scholarship awarded to universities and students every year. That's money you don't have to pay back. Visit fanjob.ca to earn from. Your London Majors next home game is this Sunday, July 11th against the Bears Baycats. Tickets can be purchased online from the London Majors store or online at dominoes.com.
Welcome back to Majors Baseball on Majors TV. The London Majors are up 12-1 on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Some defensive changes to bring you as we begin the top of the 7th inning. Adam Philman moves to right field. Austin Wilkie to center as that ball gets popped foul. Chris McQueen goes from center field to second base. Julian Johnson out of the ball game. And Carlos Artiega moves to third base for the Majors. Braden Farrington now in on the pitcher's mound for the team.
Farrington back for another season here for the Majors. We thought that we might have seen Farrington retire, but he's back here again and ready to throw for this Majors club.
Called strike there. That pitch is fouled back to the screen. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Farrington looks in and comes set. Here's the pitch. It's in the dirt. 1-2 now to Johnston.
Farrington here, he's got himself a big lead, Dylan, and this is a perfect spot for him to get a good first outing under his belt to start the season. He's got some runs to work with.
That ball is popped in the air, foul territory, chasing after it, the new third baseman, Carlos Artiega. He slides, but he's not able to make that play as it drops into foul territory. It's a foul ball.
Had to come a long way for that one. We've talked about the big foul territory here in London, but Carlos, I don't think the fastest guy on this team, if you were to put him out there, would have got that one. Tough play, now 1-2.
One ball, 2 strikes to Johnston. Farrington looks in into the windup, the pitch. That's in the air, foul territory yet again. Artiega going to chase it. Might have a play on this one. He does. He'll make the grab, and that will be the first out at the top of the 7th inning.
Great job by Farrington. Get that first out of the way, under your belt there, as Artiega gets a chance on a much easier play. I'm not going to say it's the easiest play in the world, but compared to the one he tried to run down before, a lot easier. Gets the catch, and it's one gone here to start the top half of the 7th inning here for Braden Farrington.
We move back to the top of the order. It's Grant Maine to the plate for Toronto. Farrington, the first pitch. Oh, that one nearly hit him in the head. It's ball 1.
Farrington putting in work in the offseason like he has in years past. Of course, an extended offseason this year. After, like I've mentioned, we didn't think we were going to see him back in the pinstripes. Thought it might have been the end of his career, but he's back here again for another season, and we'll see if he can be a help to this Majors pitching staff.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Rube Chanada asked him to go a couple innings here in relief in a blowout game like this one. 2-0 now, 2 to Maine. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on a good off-speed pitch there from Farrington. Sliced away from Maine in the batter's box. 2 balls, 1 strike now.
The Majors, of course, having to try and get through as many innings as they can with as few arms.
Maine hits that one in the air, left field. Now tracking back is Ruiz after taking a couple of steps in. He'll make the catch, and that will be the second out of the ball game. Of the inning, I should say. Noah, you mentioned the Majors are trying to limit the amount of arms they use. They've got a big weekend ahead with Welland tomorrow and then Barrie on Sunday.
Yeah, they hit the road to Welland tomorrow. It reminds me of the 2019 season, Dylan, when earlier on we had a Friday night game and then the Majors had to hit the road right away to get to Welland bright and early Saturday morning. Of course, that game went to, 1:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
And it was not a long night of sleep for the Majors. Hopefully they can get out of here a little bit earlier tonight and try and get some sleep in before they head to Welland on the road. And then we're back here Sunday night as the Majors here a Sunday night game.
Sunday night action against the Barrie Baycats as Jordan Castaldo sends that one in the air down the right field line. Going to be a tough play for Philmon, and he's able to get there to retire the side. So a very quick and efficient inning for Braden Farrington. Throws 11 pitches and retires the side. We are headed to the Bottom of the 7th inning now, 12-1 Majors.
Stretch time, Dylan.
Energy drinking knocks it out of the park with all your drinking needs. Get up and stretch. You earned it. Go ahead. A socially distanced stretch. Stretch off, not hard. Stretch in general. Yeah, stretch long. Let's hear the other that part. How good?
Chris McQueen steps up to the plate here in the bottom of the 7th inning at Labatt Park. He is now the second baseman in the ballgame as we take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
4-2 Welland leads over in Brantford. That's the Red Sox home opener. Welland getting their first game in the season. They lead 4-2. And then over in Hamilton, it's Barrie and the Cardinals tied at 2.
Called strike 2. Close ball games everywhere but here in the IBL tonight. 2-run game, a tie game, and over here it's 12-1.
12-1. The Majors leading here as we have completed the stretch, bottom of the 7th.
Ball misses in the dirt. Matthias Tronson, by the way, the pitcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs, is now Takamatsu took that one in a sensitive spot, I believe, and Chris Walters, the home plate umpire, going to go out and see him.
Yeah, he's just going to go give him a little bit of time. You'll see that when the catcher takes one where you don't want to take one. They'll go out and they'll give him all the time in the world to get ready here. Talked about that out-of-town scoreboard and where they are sitting right now. Of course, London going to Welland tomorrow, and I believe after the rainout on Thursday, that's going to be Welland's home opener. So for the second straight IBL season, the Majors will be in Welland for their home opener. A good rivalry, I think, has already been established there between those two clubs. And then the Majors back here on Sunday for their second home game of the season. We'll have that one for you on Majors TV. And, of course, Dylan, one of the exciting things going on this season, Rogers TV back covering some Intercounty Baseball League action with the IBL Game of the Week series. We'll be the ones kicking that off next Friday, a week from today, as the London Majors will get set and ready to go on Rogers TV.
Yeah, that'll be really cool to be back on Rogers for the IBL Game of the Week. It'll be the first one of the season next Friday night against the Kitchener Panthers, who will be playing, I believe, their second game, because I think they get started on the 15th. Their season does. So that will be an interesting ball game to watch, that's for sure. I believe tomorrow in Welland it's Pie Day, if I'm not mistaken.
Pizza pie or like apple pie?
Well, here's the thing. Pizza pie, you can get that at the concession stand. And then $3.14 slices of actual pie, I believe, is the promotion. The pitch to McQueen, called strike 3, so he is set down now for the first out in the bottom of the 7th after Takamatsu gathered himself and was all right to keep going in this ball game, so one gone now.
So if someone comes up to you and says, do you want a piece of pie, what comes to your mind first, pizza or like apple pie?
For me, it's apple pie. That's what would come to my mind right away. I don't associate pizza with pie. I know a lot of people do.
Is that like an American thing? Like, what is that? I think is that south of the border? Our friends south of the border that call it pizza pie?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I've never heard it called that up here.
Yeah, no, I haven't called it pizza pie ever in my lifetime, as that pitch is fouled back by Keith Candell. But yeah, like if somebody asks me if I want pie, I'm thinking like apple pie, right off the bat.
Give me a nice apple pie with some whipped cream on top. I'm getting hungry up here. Is the mid-game food on its way up? We didn't order any, did we?
No, we didn't. We passed up on the chance, and now we're regretting it as we talk about pies. That's ball 1 to Keith, 1-1.
Keith Candell, a native of America, where he might call it pizza pie.
Pitch called strike 2. Post-game question for Keith will be, do they call it pizza pie in Fresno, which is where he's from? I'm not sure.
I'm going to have to ask him.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Candell. Pitch, swing, and a miss, strike 3. So Candell is retired for the second out. 2 strikeouts here for Johnson in this inning.
And he's looking good on the mound so far. His Maple Leafs team, what they needed was someone to come in here, be cool, calm, collected, ready to go, ready to just throw strikes, come right at guys, and that's what he's done so far. A couple quick outs to start the bottom half of the 7th inning, and now Carlos Arteaga will come to the plate here for the Majors. He's had himself a pretty good night at the plate and has been a big help for the Majors so far in defense as well.
Absolutely he has. Carlos has made some nice plays over at second base. Here's the pitch. It's a called strike 1 to Carlos. 0-1 now. The 0-1 now to Carlos. Called strike 2 and a good breaking ball in the outside corner.
Producer Jackson Farrow telling me that there is a place in London called Pizza Pie? Pizza Pie?
Pizza pie.
Pizza Pie?
As in like the tower.
Pizza Pie.
That's on the ground to first base, scooped up by Castaldo. He'll touch the bag and retire the side. We're going to get to the bottom of this Pizza Pie place in London here. Now, is it? My question is it Pisa as in the Leaning Tower of?
Leaning Tower of Pisa, Pizza Pie.
That would be my guess. Jackson's going to get on that for us.
He's going to get on it. Bottom of the 7th inning here.
Majors have 12 runs on 12 hits, 2 errors in the ball game. Welcome back to your regularly scheduled pie coverage. Noah Smith and Dylan Baker here. We haven't been able to get to the bottom of this restaurant as Sean Riley steps up to the plate.
There is a baseball game going on there despite the pie conversations up here in the booth.
Pitch is outside, ball 1.
We got numerous texts throughout the last half inning saying that part of the game, where you're talking about pie.
Are they just as interested as we are?
I would hope so, because we're going to get to the bottom of this.
Absolutely. Farrington looks in, gets the sign, and comes set out there on the mound. The 1-0 home to Sean Riley. That's going to be a ball. Evan Britt now on to catch behind the plate, taking over for Hayden Jaco back there.
Sean Riley been in the league for a long time. Farrington has had his fair share of innings under his belt here in the IBL, so you know these guys have met a few times before. Farrington here to start the inning. I don't think he's going to come right at Sean Riley, but don't look him to try and walk him here, although it is 2-0.
Swing and a miss there by Riley. He was geared up to get a fastball there, and Farrington took something off, and Riley just swung right through it. Count moves to 2-1 strike. Riley on the day has been held in check by the majors pitching. He walked in his first at-bat, then struck out swinging, and then grounded into a fielder's choice.
Big 2-1 pitch coming here.
The 2-1 is outside, ball 3, so 3-1. That fielder's choice was the ball that hit Owen Boone in the hand on the way through. Infield shifted to the left here with Riley at the plate.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wish we could show you a wide shot of what's going on out there. 3 guys on the left side of the infield and then kind of shaded a little bit to the left in the outfield as well.
Another one where Riley was sitting fastball and got something slow as it's 3-2 now. Could that also be due to the fact that Owen Boone and Braden Farrington are 2 very different pitchers? Maybe Riley is still geared up for Boone?
Absolutely, and I think what Farrington can do here is he's not a guy that throws overly hard. Right, when he's throwing his absolute hardest, it's probably an Owen Boone changeup. So when he takes some off of it, and he can take some off of it on the fastball, changeup, off-speed pitch, whatever it may be, you're going to be out in front of it if you're geared up for something else.
That pitch misses low, and Riley will take his walk to first base. So a full count walk there for Braden Farrington. That'll bring up Garrett Takamatsu. He's 1 for 3 in the ballgame. Had the first hit of the season for the Toronto Maple Leafs on a double to right field. Byron Reichstein almost tracked it down.
Maple Leafs, although they trail by 11 runs here, would love to just get some offense going. Hopefully they can have that offense roll over into the rest of their games to come. I didn't see, Dylan, I know they had originally scheduled 4 games in 5 days to start the season with those 2 rainouts on Wednesday and Thursday. I don't know if any got scheduled for tomorrow or not, or if they have the off day.
Takamatsu sends that one to left field, and Ruiz will make the grab there on the line drive. It's possibly a defensive switch out there. I don't believe Humberto was rocking the high socks when he was on in the ballgame. It's Arturo Guzman out there in left field. He makes that play.
Guzman coming in as Rup Charandat gets through his lineup changes here late in the ballgame in a 12-1 game. Guzman, who's a new major this season, getting out there some action in left field, and I imagine we'll see him swing the bat when the bottom of the 8th comes around.
Back to your previous question, no, nothing's been scheduled for tomorrow, so it's still the regularly scheduled off day for the Maple Leafs. Jonathan Salazzo at the plate against Farrington. Checked his swing. It's a called strike from Chris Walters, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, Maple Leafs are going to have to kind of change up their mindset, I think, a little bit here against Farrington. Because of the velocities down a little bit here compared to what you had against Owen Boone, just putting the bat on ball is not going to result in super hard contact now. You do kind of have to change your swing a little bit.
Absolutely. As that pitch misses outside, it's 1-1.
That being said, you got to stay on top of it here because Farrington's off-speed pitches, when he puts them where he wants them, are awfully tough to hit.
They can be some great weapons for him out there on the mound. He goes into his windup. The pitch is fouled off. 1-2.
Farrington going to throw that ball to the side. Didn't like it as he will get ready on 1-2 here. Around the 20 pitch mark now, and see another arm warming up in the Toronto bullpen. Be interesting to see if they're going to throw more guys in this game or just try to get through with what they can. Top half of the 8th inning, the Majors will have one more at bat if everything goes as planned.
The 1-2 from Farrington. Just missed the outside corner.
Yeah, just slipped on that off speed, it looked like, and couldn't find the outer edge.
We've got an update from Barry Hamilton. Hamilton's taking the lead now. They're up 3-2 on the Baycats. Salazzo swings through the changeup there from Farrington, and that will be the second out of the top of the 8th inning. Farrington's got his first strikeout, and that puts him one closer to 100 in his IBL career, now sitting at 92.
One of the guys that we have on our milestone watch list this season, and not saying that's a reason why Farrington came back. He came back to try and be a piece that could help this Majors team, but certainly something we're going to watch for this season as he kind of inches closer to that 100 strikeout marker.
That'll bring up Connor Lewis. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a called strike one to Lewis. He's 1 for 3 on the day.
2 gone here in the top half of the 8th inning. Farrington, continues to work, and like you said, Don, I wouldn't be surprised if we're asking Farrington to get a few innings here.
Line drive right to third. Artiega's there to make the play and retire the side. We're through 7.5 complete here at Labatt Park. The Majors lead it 12-1.
Don't forget, Majors fans, if you want more information on the team and players, go on to LondonMajors.com. You can also check out the online store with all Majors swag. You can find them at MajorsStore.com. Don't forget as well, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Lots of other fan groups to keep track of your London Majors. If you have questions or concerns about federal issues, need direction when it comes to COVID-19 economic response plan, contact Peter PREGAME, your member of Parliament in London, North Centre. Call his community office at 519-663-9777 or visit peterpregameshow.ca. Leading off third baseman, number 8, Julian Johnson.
Welcome back to Majors Baseball on Majors TV. Julian Johnson will lead off the bottom of the 8th inning here for the Majors. They're up 12-1 in the ballgame. New arm out there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're not sure who that is just yet, so we will get that to you as soon as we can.
That early portion in the season where you still don't have full rosters.
Johnson plays at the off-speed pitch there at 0-1.
Johnson displayed earlier on in the game why he's in this Majors lineup in the part of the order he is. He had that big double, scored a pair of runs, and was amped up about that one.
Checked his swing. It'll be a called strike. It's 0-2. Yeah, so Johnson had that double. It's his lone hit in the ball game today. Josh Williams out of the ball game, and Johnson has shifted over to first base. It's called strike 3, so 3 pitches is all it takes to set down Julian Johnson there. And there's 1 out now in the bottom of the 8th.
That pitch off the edge outside for Johnson, and umpiring's been very good tonight, Dylan, but I don't think that is a call that Johnson is going to get called on if this is a 2-1 game in the 6th inning. But 12-1 here in the bottom of the 8th, he's going to get that call.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. I think that might have been a little bit off the plate, but at this stage of the ball game, with the score being where it is, no real surprise that that was a called strike. So Robert Doyle steps up. He's the designated hitter after coming on to run for Cleveland Brownlee. Takes a called strike 1.
Doyle's first at-bat of the season here. You're going to see him mostly as a utility man throughout the season. He'll throw some innings. He'll play some outfield. He'll come in the later portions. And I think, Dylan, we'll see him actually pinch run for Cleveland a lot of the time late in the game when the Majors want to get a speedier guy on base. Today we saw it when the game was, I think, already out of reach. But you'll see him in closer games certainly play that role, coming in for a pinch runner for Cleveland Brownlee.
Absolutely. I think Doyle could not only pinch run for Cleveland, but a couple other guys in the lineup as well if the Majors are looking for more speed late in a ball game when they may need it. as he takes ball 2 there. 2-1 now the count.
Doyle, of course, the hometown guy, graduate of Beale Secondary School and Fanshawe College.
Swings and misses at that good curveball there. So count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Robert Doyle. Fans are still loud and rowdy here, even at this stage of the game. Listen to this crowd. The 2-2 swung on and missed by Doyle, as he will be the second out of the 8th inning. Now, by no means, Noah, is this crowd where it was to start this game. But still, you know, pretty good cheer, pretty good number out here at 10:30.
I think the energy has gone down a lot, Dylan, since earlier on in the ball game. And that's not a bad thing. It's a 12-1 game. I think they're happy to see the majors leading. They're happy to see the majors leading at the point in the ball game they are. But hey, it's 10:30 at night, first game back. I think the energy was all spent within the first maybe 4 innings.
That'll bring up Adam Filmon, who is the right fielder in the ball game. He took over for Byron Reichstein defensively, I believe, in that 7th inning, and he gets his first at-bat as a London Major now. Was not in the starting lineup today. You'll see him play probably some center field when he is in the lineup. As that pitch misses outside, he can shift over to right just like he's doing right now. He's flexible in that outfield.
Will play a similar role to what we talked about with Robert Doyle filling in. I think he'll play a little bit more outfield than Doyle will, but he'll come in and pinch run, pinch hit when he needs to, fill in defensively. And overall, I think he'll be a key piece of this Majors team this season.
Absolutely. Here is the 1-2 now to Filmon, pardon me. He pops that one into shallow right field. McLeod coming in, and he will make the catch. So the Majors are set down in order here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We head to the top of the 9th. It's Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
All right, we have the second call to 50-50 tickets. I know that there's arm length on top of arm length on top of arm length. My arm's longer than yours. There you go. You're going to get me in trouble with that. All right, we'll get our good friend Kyle French to reach in. Pull in. One lucky ticket. You want to read it or you want me to read it? All right, I got it. You're ready. 3, 4, 6, 4, 7, 7. 3, 4, 6, 4, 7, 7. Oh, you made us take this thing. Drinks on her. We know who she is now. I'll use the perfect this time minus the payment to the public residence. Equal shakedown. I'm 100% sure I've already gotten what I deserve.
Welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park as we welcome you here to the Forks of the Thames. Opening night here in the Intercounty Baseball League, and the London Majors and their 1,100 fans enjoying a nice 12-1 lead here over the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs. Still in quite the way to get the season started here for the Majors and their faithful fans.
Oh my goodness, this offense has been firing on all cylinders throughout the ballgame. A great start to the year for the Majors.
That first pitch, they'll appeal down to third. Doesn't go around. It's going to be 1-0 here. Braden Farrington back onto the mound here for his 3rd inning of work. We said when he came into the game, Dylan, don't be surprised if he goes out there for the final 3 and tries to get the Majors through this game, as the 1-0 pitch is called a strike.
Looks like that's what he's going to be trying to do here. He's at 27 pitches, so he's been pretty efficient so far throughout his outing. If he manages to finish this inning on his own, he gets a save, 3-inning save. Those are rare now.
The 1-1 from Braden Farrington. This one hit hard over the second base, one hop, and thrown over to first in time. And that'll be the first out here of the top of the ninth inning.
First time Chris McQueen's been tested over there at second base in this ball game. He got over there nicely on the hard hit ball from Jeff McLeod. One thing that McLeod has done so far in the ball game, although I believe he's only got one hit, yeah, that's the case. He's got a couple of hard hit balls. He's been putting the barrel on the baseball, and it just hasn't resulted in multiple hits for him. It's just been the one.
Farrington now, he's got his first out here in the top of the ninth, looking to try and close out this ball game here for the Majors.
So deceptive with those off-speed pitches, Noah, when Farrington comes in and he's got that off-speed stuff working. It's tough to hit for these Maple Leafs hitters.
Farrington once again here on 0-1. This one looked like it went to the off-speed again, but it slipped and was inside. 1-1 here. Swung through that one, a ball and 2 strikes here.
Farrington looking to potentially get one step closer to those 100 strikeouts if he's able to K. Sewell here.
One, two. This one crushed left field back, and it's going to be sat underneath there and caught for the second out of the inning. That one looked like it popped off the bat more than what it really was, Dylan. Fooled me.
Yeah, but
you heard it there. Wow.
I agree with you. It did look like it was going to be going a long way off the bat, but it hung right up there. It didn't go very deep. Arturo Guzman was right there to make the play, and 2 outs now here in the ninth inning.
2 gone. Majors looking to try and close out the game here with one final out. A 12-1 lead in the ninth inning. Farrington to the plate. That one going to miss outside, 1-0. We mentioned a couple close games going on around the IBL tonight. This one not so much here in London to start the season. Now the 1-0 from Farrington. This one's going to be hit. Chasing it down Guzman. It'll go into the gap, so that one will find grass. Into second base, and it'll be a 2-out double. And the Maple Leafs not done quite yet.
Yeah, double there for Ryan Johnston as he lined that one to the gap. Arturo Guzman had thoughts of trying to cut that ball off, just couldn't quite get there in time. He slid trying to make a play on it after it had gotten past him, tried to get it back into the infield very quickly, but then with the wet grass late at night, he slipped on that, and it results in a double for Johnston.
Pitch by Farrington. That one going to miss, 1-0. Runner on second after the 2-out double. Maple Leafs trying to see if they can push some runs across late in this ball game, even if it doesn't get them back into it.
Still a nice confidence boost if they're able to get a couple of runs late in the ball game.
I don't think some of these guys aren't looking at their average, see if they can boost a hit here or there.
Absolutely.
Late in the ball game, Majors fans trying to cheer Farrington through the final inning. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
One good pitch here from Farrington ends this ball game. We'll see if he can execute against Domain.
Farrington 1-2 here. 2 outs, top of the ninth inning. Pitch, that one hit on the ground. Tough play over at third. Gonna have to come up with a strong throw across the diamond in time. Chalk it up a final score. The Majors win on opening night, 12-1. And you hear the horn go, Dylan, doesn't that feel good? A sense of normalcy here in the Forest City. Majors win the Friday night at the ballpark.
Absolutely a great game for the London Majors to get their season started. Great job by the pitching staff, great job by the offense, scoring lots of runs in today's ball game, and the Majors come out on top. Not only do they come out on top, Noah, but they have a blowout victory here on opening day. Really great for the Majors fans who have come out in droves to this opening day tilt.
So that is the final score for London there. 12 runs, 12 hits, and 2 errors for Toronto. A run, 4 hits, and 1 error across the board there. What a night here at the ballpark, Dylan. What a night as the Majors will take game 1 of this season. It's going to be shadowed over a little bit, I think. The offense was good. Bats were good. But the pitching staff for the Majors, Owen Boone and Braden Farrington, 9 innings, 1 run.
Yeah, no, really good outing there for both pitchers, Boone and Farrington. It was really good to see because, the question mark that we talked about for a lot of teams in the pregame show was whether the pitching was going to be there. And I think that the Majors have their ace in Owen Boone. I know we've seen that before. He can be that guy. He looked really, really good tonight. And that's awesome for the Majors if he can be a guy who consistently comes out there and throws you 6 quality innings on most days. That's really good to see. Also, shout out to Braden Farrington getting some length out of that bullpen, recording the 3-inning save to wrap this one up.
Well, that's a good way to start his season, eh? You get in here in a game that, albeit is not close, you get 3 innings in under your belt, you do a fantastic job, you close this one out, and the London Majors win on opening night 12-1.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Farrington was nearly perfect in his outing. He only allowed the 1 hit that was the double with 2 outs in the 9th inning. So he had a very, very good outing for the Majors. And you know what? If he can be a big piece of that bullpen that can give you a couple innings, be a multiple inning guy, that's huge for the team.
So the London Majors win here on opening night on Majors TV. They'll go to Welland tomorrow and then back here on Sunday against, well, another strong foe, eh? Dylan, Sunday night back here at the ballpark.
Absolutely. The 6-time defending champs, I believe, the Barrie Baycats, Noah, come to town on Sunday to take on the Majors, and should be a nice, exciting ball game on Sunday night. We'll have it right here for you on Majors TV.
Thanks for tuning in tonight wherever you are here on Majors TV on YouTube. Final score, London 12, Toronto 1 here on opening night in the Intercounty Baseball League at Labatt Park. From Noah Smith, Dylan Baker, our producer, Jackson Farrell, we thank you for watching with us tonight. And we'll see you again here on Majors TV on Sunday.